more on that. I have kind of a weird experience with like bulking and cutting. I've not been able to gain weight very easily. I'm sure you kind of deal with the same thing. And honestly, I've found the most success when I'm eating in like a slight calorie surplus. I've done it all. I've done like bulks, like heavy bulks where I eat like over 1,000 calories over my maintenance. And honestly, you just gain a shit ton of fat.
And I think Mark Zuckerberg might be trying to save his ass a little bit on that podcast now that Trump won. There's a lot of allegations against him as well for that stuff. So I'm not saying that he's the victim or anything. Partly him and Facebook administration, but also that the huge push from the Biden administration to take down anything negative about the vaccine.
And I made a lot of mistakes too during the date. Like when we first got there, I accidentally let her walk ahead and open the door for herself.
You always tell yourself, "Fuck, I don't
I know it's not like
happen.
a big deal, but I think it is. I really like opening doors for girls and that sort of thing. But I don't know. And if you find a girl who likes that stuff, if you do it for her, she'll really like that. I've had long-term relationships where girls have loved that when you open doors for them and that sort of thing. But yeah, dude. So we're on this date and it just is not going anywhere. I'm stressed out because the environment, and she's asking me a ton of questions, and I'm barely giving her anything in response. So it's just brutal. But.
All right, Charlie. All set?
My man.
How's it going?
Very good, bro. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this might be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you excited for Trump's inauguration next week?
Oh, yeah, bro. Dude, I'm gassed. So, the plan is, I think we fly out either Saturday or Sunday, and then we're getting there because, the inauguration's Monday.
Yeah, 20th.
So,
is it always on MLK Day?
I don't know, actually.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I feel like this is just a one-off. But, yeah, bro, it's going to be fun. I'm gonna be with my people, it'll be good.
Yeah, well, it'll be good to see your family again because you have not gone back much,
for sure.
right?
I mean, I saw him over break, but it's been a minute, and so yeah, I don't know, it'll be good.
It's amazing, man. Yeah. Have you always been into politics and stuff? Is this an event you're more looking forward to because of the specifics of this year's event, or just in general you're big into politics?
That's actually a really good question. I mean, I didn't used to be, so I'm not sure what your experience is with this, but at least for me, in middle school, that was during the first Trump election cycle with Clinton, and yeah, dude, the whole school hated Trump, and I remember that's when the media was really going after him a lot, and so I don't know, the whole school was okay, just so anti-Trump, and I think that might be just the area that I'm from as well, but
where were you from again?
Bloomfield Hills, Michigan.
Bloomfield Hills. Yeah. I know Bloomfield.
Yeah. So, but yeah, where was I? So,
middle school.
Yeah. So in middle school, when all these kids are talking about how bad Trump is and everything, it kind of makes you feel the same way. And my parents were both very liberal at the time, and so I had no other choice really, right? So, yeah. I mean, I really started to get into it. I'd say junior year in high school. I started to look more into that red pill topic stuff, and it led me into politics because I would watch.
So you got into it from red pill stuff?
A little bit, honestly.
That's
yeah,
funny.
I feel like I kind of got into them at the same time almost because I started watching guys Hamza.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would talk about politics and that sort of thing, and then I'd look into guys Ben Shapiro, people like that.
Shapiro.
And so yeah, I got into it about junior year in high school, and ever since then just been super passionate about it. And
so junior high school, okay.
Yeah. What's your experience with it
Yeah, it's funny because some of the stories you talk about in middle school are relatable.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still get a lot of Trump haters these days. You're in Ann Arbor, you'll hear so many people, even a lot of my friends, just go at him, dictator, call him all these names, fascist. And there's definitely still a lot of hate, but I think in 2016 it was different, where I think there was more of it back then than even now. Because I think even a lot of people that voted for Trump in this election cycle did not vote for him in 2016. There's so many examples of that.
Think about it. He lost the popular vote in 2016,
he did.
And he won it this time. So, that just shows. And I think there were even more people who voted for him this time than last time. So, yeah, I think he's definitely become more popular, and for good reason. People are, he went through that whole presidency, and people were okay, this dude's actually legit. Because he had to deal with COVID, too, so.
A lot of stretch.
And that was not easy. and he got through it still. So actually, I'm really optimistic for this cycle and this go around because he'll actually get to do what he wants to do, and with his new cabinet members and stuff, I'm a big fan of, and I know my mom is too. She's a fan of RFK Jr. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh yeah, I think he's great.
He's awesome, bro. With all the stuff he does with the food industry and all his plans to make America healthy. So I think that's great.
I agree. There's so many big names too,
for sure.
Political, not even political figures, but just big figures in media that switched this election cycle. I'm pretty sure Elon did not vote for Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
Now he's big in the whole conservative movement and what they're
he's been an integral part of it too. It's crazy.
Especially working directly with Vivek.
Yeah, and when he'd come out on the rallies too, when he'd go speak at the Trump rallies right before, I think that had a huge impact, honestly.
Definitely. A lot of people are realizing that even people who believe in a lot of the traditional Democratic values can understand where he's coming from too, and the recent shifts the Democratic Party has made that kind of made them lose a lot of voters.
Yeah, and I think honestly the Republican Party is shifting more towards traditional democracy in a lot of ways.
I see that, yeah.
Because they're the Democrat Party. We're not. I don't know. I could talk about that all day, but they're shifting a lot from what their original values used to be, because they used to be all for free speech and that sort of thing, right? And
censorship
I
is
don't
crazy.
really believe that that's what they're for anymore, and that's.
Did you see Mark Zuckerberg was on Joe Rogan recently?
No, I didn't actually. When was that?
It was just 3-4 days ago.
Dude, that's awesome. I'll have to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Have you watched the whole thing?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Since I got back from break, I've just not been watching too many. I used to watch it a lot over break and stuff. But
No,
I watched Rogan. A clip though.
Rogan's that guy, dude. He also had a huge impact on the campaign. I feel like too. Yeah. After he went on, did you watch that interview?
I watched that full one. That was a great interview.
It was awesome. I watched the one with JD Vance as well.
My dad told me about that one. He said that he's a big fan of Vance, and I've looked at his stuff.
JD?
Yeah. He's a great guy. I think he's really well spoken. He's a good representation of a lot of the policies that
I think he's almost better than Trump in a lot of ways, honestly, because he's very, he's not very, he's not going to be as, I don't know, outwardly contentious as Trump tends to be,
Yeah, so. That's what gets me excited for future election cycles with all these big, Vivek running potentially.
Yeah, dude, I wanted him, when everyone was starting to run at the beginning, I was like, okay, this dude looks the best. I'm not going to lie.
He's really well-spoken.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with him on a lot of stuff, even more so than Trump in a lot of ways.
Yeah, so. I agree.
Yep.
So I'm hopeful for the future, for
absolutely.
Sure. We've had a pretty bad
solid
collection.
Candidates.
The last couple of years, we've had some pretty bad candidates. So it's looking bright for the future, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and honestly, even with Trump, dude, he's made himself appear more of a good candidate recently, because he's shifting away. Besides the cats and dogs comment and shit like that.
I hate Taylor Swift.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like people know what he stands for, and so that's more so why people want to vote for him now, is because it's very clear what this man's about.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing with him is that since he's such a silly guy and how he approaches things, it's so easy to soundbite him, clip him, and make him seem like this horrible figure.
Yeah, absolutely, and take things out of context, 100%. Yeah.
But I think one of the benefits of him acting that way is that who you're voting for, as in, that when he says something, he believes in it, and it's not like he's standing behind a teleprompter or he's trying to make things up on the fly. He can speak properly for hours, and you can trust that the person I'm voting for, this is actually who he is and what he believes. He stands by it all the time.
And the thing is, I love how you said that. You cannot say that about Kamala or Biden, for example, because people behind the scenes are controlling them, right? So I don't know. I have pretty strong opinions about that sort of thing, because I think it was him who was mentioning how Kamala can't speak without a teleprompter.
Yeah,
it's true, bro. If you watch her,
did you see there's a 60-minute podcast, I think, 60-minute news, some YouTube channel, and they literally would delete segments of it where she gave a bad answer and re-record it.
Yeah, they'd clip it and stuff, and you can't do that, bro. You gotta have a raw interview. That's how you do that.
That's why she wasn't on Rogan, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I really wish she was.
Rogan wouldn't cut that shit, bro. He'd post the whole thing and she'd look like a jackass the whole time. It'd be hilarious.
I will say, I was watching an NBC interview of Trump. I think it's NBC, and luckily they posted the whole thing. And NBC's more left leaning, and the Christine, the reporter, was going after Trump a lot. Honestly, in some parts it's pretty rude.
But dude, the thing is, I don't even mind that, because if you're being contentious with the people that you're interviewing, you're really trying to poke at them, I feel like that's good, because but why don't they do that to both sides?
They should. My question. I'm telling you, they should. I feel like it would really reveal a lot of the true intentions of people. I feel like as leaders, we should really know them. They shouldn't just be this like fabricated fictional character,
Yeah, exactly. Like you got to make him more human almost, Yeah. And I felt like, and it's weird to say because Kamala's whole campaign was going about like, okay, she's one of you guys, right? That's what they try to say is she's very like relatable, but bro, she's not. Like I truly feel like Trump is more relatable, even though he has all that money and stuff. He still has that very like blue collar attitude, like you work hard. You provide for your family, that sort of thing. And I feel like that's just lost in the left for the most part.
I agree. I mean, a lot of young people used to vote left and still do, but I think the young guys have all shifted to right.
Yeah, absolutely. Recently. I think it was mostly young guys who actually voted for Trump this time around.
That helped him a lot. I think without it, he wouldn't have won.
Yeah, that demographic boosted him a ton, I think. So yeah, and it was like the opposite with Kamala and the young girls because I knew barely any girls who voted for Trump.
I knew a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, the only girls I talked to that didn't want to vote for Trump was just because how much they hated their dad was so into Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a whole issue in itself is like the people, and I don't even support the people on the right who will like make it their whole personality that like they love Trump. Yeah, there are people like that. I know a guy like that. Because I mean, while I may be right-leaning, I tend to be moderate on a lot of topics, and I mean, we could get into it, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's, you got to be pretty balanced in your point of view on these things,
You got to be careful. I mean, like, there's definitely, if I think go policy by policy, I think these days a lot of them do lean more right. Mm. But there are definitely some things where I agree with the left a little bit on more. I mean, I try to stay in the middle. I try to be objective and try to think things through logically. Mm. But, I mean, these days I think it's just been hard with the whole left's attitude toward things that it's been hard to, like, agree with them on a lot of topics.
Yeah, go into that more. Like, what exactly do you mean?
There's two big ones, I think. I think the first one is just the intense censorship that they've been advocating for, and I really believe in free speech. Yep. I think that free market capitalism and free speech are essential for democracy.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we saw what happened in COVID, first of all, with them intentionally. I mean, Zuck claims that it was Biden administration calling them, telling them to take down all the vaccine stuff that was negative.
Yeah.
And, like, I think Mark Zuckerberg might be trying to save his ass a little bit on that podcast now that Trump won.
Yep.
And there's a lot of allegations against him as well for that stuff. So I'm not saying that he's the victim or anything. Mm. I think the whole, like, it's definitely partly him and Facebook administration, but also that the huge push from the Biden administration to take down anything negative about the vaccine. There's a study that's factually true about the vaccine that's negative.
Dude, it's so interesting. My mom actually works for a drug industry, and so you would think that she would be more left-leaning on that sort of thing, but it's the complete opposite. She knows the ins and outs of the industry, and so I've actually talked to her a ton about this, about how, that the vaccine was not it just didn't work. Like, they would just be giving it out to people randomly, and people would be taking it because they had to. That's the thing. And that's one thing that I really didn't like about that whole pandemic situation is, like, you force people to take the vaccine to, keep their jobs. And I think that's just what happened to my body, my choice, right? Like, where did that go?
Yeah, but also, like, setting up morals based on who you are as a person if you oppose the vaccine.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they really pushed for it, really. Like, I think there's some policy about how if in a time of a crisis you can, like, skip some steps or, like, do steps simultaneously in the approval process. I always forget to, like, read more about this because I always bring it up on the podcast and I always forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, like, steps skipped in the process of getting this vaccine approved. So there's definitely some problems with that.
And that's just not
forcing
good.
It.
Yeah, it's just not a good thing to do. Like, you can't skip steps when it comes to producing vaccines. Like, that's just something you can't do. And you see, like, all the impacts of that now. Like, I know one thing that was somewhat recent is, like, Bronny James.
Yeah.
When he had, like, that heart issue after it, and they said it was probably because of the vaccine. I don't know.
Was this recent, like, in his NBA career,
or? I think it was before. I think he was in college still, but yeah. So he
went to USC, if I'm not wrong.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. So he had some big heart issue, and they think it was because of the vaccine. Don't quote me on that, but
Well, I've heard stories like that all the time.
Yeah, but it's like, it causes a bunch of heart issues is what I've heard and what I've talked to my mom about. So, like, dude, I'm scared because I got it myself, and, like, I'm trying to do these athletic endeavors and that sort of thing. So, I don't know. It's scary, dude.
Well, Bret Weinstein talks about that a lot. He's always talking about. There's one thing in particular I found really interesting is how he associated allergies, the rise in allergies, to vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we look at any other species, like, no other species really gets allergies.
Yeah, they don't just spontaneously develop allergies. I have a good story for this, bro. Actually, I'm allergic to shellfish, and my mom thinks it's because of vaccines. So no one in my family's history has like a shellfish allergy or anything.
That's so specific too.
Yeah, it is, and it just like spontaneously developed. I don't even know how. So we have like seasonal allergies and like allergies to pets and that sort of thing. But like, dude, it's just like a weird thing to just randomly have a shellfish allergy. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I ate it earlier on in my life too, and I was totally fine. But like. Ooh. It just like developed.
So it developed.
Yeah, it was weird, bro. Conspiracy theory type shit.
Hey, I'm gonna have to look into that, man. I have a latex allergy, which would suck when I'm trying to fuck and got condoms.
Oh, yeah, actually, bro, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just an excuse to not use them, I guess. Then, right?
Yeah, I gotta hit raw. My morphology.
You explain that to a girl. You're like, so I have a latex allergy. She's like, that's what they all say, bro. Just, I gotta use that one, bro. That'd be so.
Yeah, dude, in 3rd grade, I'd have like those latex gloves for science projects, dude. And like, it would start itching so bad.
Yeah. Like, have you had a lab yet here?
Here, not like I didn't take like a science class yet till now. I'm taking physics now, so I'll probably have to.
Are you doing the physics lab too, or not?
Yeah, I am. Okay. Our first lab's like next week, so we'll see. I mean, chem next term up definitely. Yeah, but they usually have latex-free ones now.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully some latex-free condoms too.
Oh, there's even a thing? I don't know.
I've heard they are. I don't know how they.
I mean, they have to be because people have allergies and shit. So come on.
I wonder how common a latex allergy is. Cause I've not met someone who has.
Yeah,
one.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. Well, I can say I know someone with it now. So that's interesting.
But anyways, going back to what you said in the beginning about 2016 versus 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of people I've seen who have switched. Elon's one of them. Mark Andreessen's one of them. Mm-hmm. There's another name. There's a lot of people that are switching. Ben Shapiro as well. He wasn't supporting Trump in
yeah, for sure. I mean, dude,
2016.
Look at like even some people who've been known Democrats. RFK
Elon's
Jr.
one of them.
And Tulsi Gabbard. Have you heard of her?
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so I mean, dude, RFK Jr. is the biggest one. Like the whole Kennedy family was so involved with the Democratic Party for so long, and like for him to switch, that's huge. Especially switching to like Trump, because he's a pretty controversial figure, right? So I don't know.
Well, the thing with RFK is that whenever I bring up in conversation and people start going after him, they always say the same thing, always anti-vax, and just leave it at that. But they never really get into the weeds of it, like him as a person. Like, his policies are great.
Absolutely, and like you can't just discredit someone just because of like one thing they say. I like to, take what like everything that someone says and take the good and leave the bad. Like I talk about this with my brother and mom all the time. Like, and this comes up with Andrew Tate. I don't know if you're too familiar with him, but yeah, dude, he's there's a lot of things that I agree with him. But there are some things that I don't, and so like I do believe that it's best to just like take the good things from everyone and like just leave the bad and like be because you shouldn't blindly follow anyone, right? You can't take anyone like 100% for their word,
Yeah.
So.
That's true. I mean, that's true with anyone. There's always that's something I live by too. That value of like trying to find the good in people. Mm-hmm. I can't speak on Andrew Tate much. I've not really watched his shit much. But,
really, I feel like you would have been someone to watch him a little bit.
It's funny because I never got into him. I never watched a video about him.
Yeah, honestly, dude, you should look into it a little bit. I mean, it's interesting stuff. Like we've talked about like.
I mean, I was telling you about this book I read. I mean, it's same ideas.
Yeah, it's the same stuff, but like, he, how he got so popular, right? Like trying to be very controversial, but like still make sense at the same time. Like he'd say stuff like, women can't drive or some shit like that, which is objectively not true, right?
Yeah. But I feel like stuff like that's fine, but the cam girl stuff's a little bit too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's fucked.
Yeah, no, that is bad. That's one thing that I don't like about him, actually, is how he started, because, he preaches, like, making money on your own and that sort of thing, but, like, at the end of the day, he, like, exploited men a little bit, because with the whole cam girls thing, and I don't
that's
know.
Whack.
I just can't get behind that, because I would never do that personally, so I just can't understand it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, all we hear about, I mean, like, I try not to comment with people I have not, like, consumed much content by.
Yeah.
Because, you only hear the stories, right?
Right.
And, I've talked to people who will, like, come to my face and tell me, that person is evil. Like, someone I was talking to told me, Jordan Peterson is evil. I'm like,
really?
Okay, take a step back. Why is he evil? And he's like, and he can't say anything.
They can barely ever put together two sentences about why they actually think he's evil.
I think he's great, man. Like,
really? I love his stuff. Have you read his book?
12 Rules for Life.
Yeah, I read that too.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's dense, dude. That's
dense. A hard one to get it through.
It really is. It's like 300 something pages, and it's like.
It's a lot of gibberish.
Yeah, and the big words he uses and stuff. It's like pretty wild.
Yeah, I'll try to cam.
Yeah.
I think the things I like about him is how he really values population decline as a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to my Japanese friend yesterday, and we're talking about how there's like no young people in Japan. I don't know if I told you I visited right over break.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I visited Japan over break.
That's awesome. And, what part?
So we drove around from Tokyo to Nikko to Hakone to Kyoto. So just a lot of that middle area.
Oh, you did everything.
I love this song,
That's
bro.
good.
You heard the song?
What
Heart
song
of the City?
Is it Jay-Z?
Yeah. Jay-Z's best rapper.
I don't know it actually.
I'll put you on
I
later.
can see like the album cover on it. I love that Eminem song Renegade on
That's
that
a
album.
tough song.
So
This whole
good,
album
bro.
is like top 5 rap album for me.
I do like Jay-Z a lot besides like his personal stuff because like
I don't
he
follow
was
it.
involved with like Diddy and that sort of thing.
I keep hearing that. I'm like, what is that? Is that some sexual trafficking thing?
Yeah, dude. You know about Diddy's whole situation or not?
Not in detail. My friend Keen told me about it, but
yeah, I mean it's not worth getting into. Bro, it's just a scumbag.
Let's save that for later.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking about my Japanese friend, and yeah, the situation there is pretty fucked because they're not like having kids anymore. And the population is expected to drop by 30 million.
Even in the United States too, it's same.
Crazy.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's bad here too, and I think South Korea is the worst right now. Where people are spending more money on dog-related supplies and baby supplies right now over there.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
like,
crazy.
even when she goes back, like there's like just no young people to hang out with. So I would only go with family if I were to go visit again.
Yeah, that's crazy. I want to go at some point. I feel like Tokyo would be crazy. It looks like super futuristic and stuff. It's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I do like that topic that he talks about a lot, and I do like how he's really religious, and I
do too.
I think that he values that a lot, and he tries to integrate that to solve day-to-day problems in a way.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good. I think a lot of people can use that day and age. Like my Christian friends are the happiest people I know.
What's your experience with religion? Because I don't feel like we've talked about this before.
So my whole family follows Hinduism.
Okay.
And I've never gotten deep into it myself. We do celebrate holidays.
Yeah.
We go to temple every now and then, but not religiously.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely very interested in getting more into it.
Mm-hmm.
Over the summer, I read a book. It's more a fiction book, but it's about a story from Hinduism. So if I do want to get more into religion. I guess everyone's always makes the excuse that now is not the right time later. But I feel like there will be a time at some point in my life where it'll just be like, yeah, now is the time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an excuse, maybe it's not. But I definitely at some point in the next 4 years I want to read more about it.
I feel that way myself. I read the whole Bible last year, and like I don't know, I've just been delaying going to church and stuff. I feel like it's the whole excuse of like, I don't have time right now, but like you need to kind of make time. And so I feel like we're kind of in the same spot where it's almost cope in a way where we're like, okay, we'll do it eventually. But like I feel like it's something important that honestly I'd want to be doing now. And my roommate's super religious. We talk about this all the time. He's Orthodox Romanian Christian, and so yeah, bro, we talk about that stuff all the time. And I feel like you were saying, it is super important, and that's why I love what Jordan Peterson talks about too, is because he does integrate that a lot into his content, and like it just is good for society in general. I believe like religion.
It definitely adds to the happiness you feel. It's stability it talks about.
Yeah.
That literally the source of happiness is stability.
Mm-hmm.
That the unhappiness in the West is colored by short-term things rather than long-term things. Like, where's family at? There's no family out here. So it's more like, I think the biggest sources of that happiness is like, I think having a big family. Definitely. I want a big family. I want a lot of people around me.
Like a tight nuclear family type thing?
Yeah, but even like extended would be cool to have around. Yeah. Like my parents would love to live with me. Like,
I love this song too.
Old Drake is fire.
Oh, it's so good. I remember when I first found this song. So good.
You listen to, there's some good songs of, like, Show Me a Good Time. You know that song?
I don't know that one, no.
It's a good one.
You know which album?
This album.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not, like, too familiar with this album. I know, like, a few.
Yeah.
But this one is a very good one.
I think Drake's my number one streamed artist of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, we haven't talked about that. I thought, okay, I got a song that we got to play in a minute then.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even know you were that big into Drake.
Well, like, I used to be a lot. So I still like him a lot. I respect him as like an artist. I think he's a top 10 artist of all time.
Yeah.
Top 20 rapper probably. I listened to him a lot in middle school, which really put the streams up there. Yeah. And then like high school started to taper off, and my sophomore year was pretty low. And since then, I've really got into older rap since then. But I still have a lot of his songs on my playlist. Dude, I think he's a great artist.
Yeah. No, it's funny you say that. I'm like the opposite. I used to be big into like older rap when I was in middle school and like early high school, and then I kind of like developed more into newer rap, and so I'm more into like the Travis Scotts, the Drakes now.
I see you in the
that
gym,
sort of thing.
Listen to Travis.
Yeah, I used to be big into like the Jay-Z's, Eminem's, Tupac, Biggie, all them. In like middle school, which is crazy because I didn't know anyone else who was listening to them at that time.
That's unique for you as like a individual.
Yeah, actually, and I don't even know how I got into them, honestly, because my parents didn't really listen to them. They introduced me to Eminem at a young age, so I got into him.
How old were you?
Probably about 8 or 9, honestly.
Okay.
And that maybe, Mom, if you're watching this, maybe not the finest parenting choice, but it's neither here nor there. But but like, yeah, I mean, I'm actually so happy I got into him at a young age because he talks a lot about like, if you really listen to his music, it's like, confidence, because he overcame a ton.
My
of,
best friend,
addiction.
like in sophomore high school, was the biggest Eminem fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's so good, bro. I still listen to him all the time. He's my number one all time.
That's all like on streams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like Stats.fm or whatever? There's an app that
It's
tells
like
you.
Stats for Spotify.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a website.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend would have like a vinyl player and have Eminem vinyls. Dude, that shit was sick.
God, that's awesome.
I'm thinking when I build a studio next year to get a vinyl player in the studio.
You totally should.
That'd be so much
fun.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I'll call you back for another episode.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Even just like a less expensive one, like 'cause that could work.
Dude,
like,
it'd be fun.
Could look sick.
I'd spend money if it's in the studio.
Yeah, no, both my parents have like record players that are just awesome, and
that's so fire.
Yeah, they are pretty nice. I'd love to collect those, honestly, in the future. Like some old albums. I feel like they just look so nice.
Imagine we have them set up in the studio or whatever.
Just like a ton of them. Yeah. Just like on the wall.
My favorite albums.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
My favorite album of all time is Be by Common, and I would have that.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I love that album.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Incredible. But yeah, I think my earliest experiences with rap was 6th grade.
Okay.
And I did find it on my own. I think maybe it's more like social, like everyone was kind of getting into rap a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was listening to, I think 4th, 5th grade, I was getting into pop stuff, like 5th grade stuff, like whatever's trending.
What kind of pop stuff?
Like I wouldn't listen on my own, but whatever's playing on the radio. Like there's like I don't even remember what songs were trending back then.
You mean like the like 2010s white chick music stuff?
Not
like
even that. It was, I know Views had just come out.
Yeah.
By Drake, so that was like Hotline Bling was playing everywhere.
Okay, yeah.
And then like Zed was trending. Like this was random artists that play on the radio.
I know the era you're talking about. Yeah,
it's a weird era. It's way back.
It's crazy for me because I was like 12 then, so you must have been even
11.
younger than that. That's crazy.
Yeah. But then 6th grade, like I remember finding a song by Logic on YouTube.
Okay.
And then I got really into Logic first. Like that was my intro to rap. So
that's crazy.
Bobby Tarantino 2, beautiful album.
Yeah.
And I like Logic a lot because it is newer music, at least, like No Pressure and Vinyl Days. He's really mimicking a lot of the older artists that I've come to like.
Yep.
Like A Tribe Called Quest, Jay-Z.
Yep.
And I think I definitely put him there in that elite sphere, even though a lot of people might be like he's trying too hard to be like the good one. I think he's a great rapper, in my opinion.
I haven't listened to him in a little while. Like, does he have newer stuff?
I listen to the 2 albums I listen to a lot are Vinyl Days, which came out 2021.
Okay.
And No Pressure from 2020. I think those 2 albums are really good.
My favorite of his is probably Homicide with Eminem.
Yeah, you
know that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good. Was that with Joyner too?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it was just them too. Yeah, I remember the music video. That was pretty tough too. That was good.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, then I don't like my music taste in middle school a lot when I look back at it. But it was neither. Like mostly just Gunna, Lil Baby.
Yeah.
All that type of stuff, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Young Thug. I was into Drake back then. I still like Drake, so that was cool, I guess.
That's pretty young to be in those type of dudes too. But at the same time, like I feel like it's not because a lot of people did that. I don't know.
That's what most of my friends were.
Maybe for me because I didn't do it at that age. I don't know.
Fair. I listen to Juice WRLD a lot.
I did too, actually. Oh, I love Juice WRLD.
Goodbye Good Riddance is my the 3rd most streamed album. Of all time.
Even when you're not sad or anything, it's just still good because he's so chill. Bro, you know what I learned? Hold on. I think he died when he was like 20 or something.
That's so sad. Yeah.
Maybe he was 21, but that's my age, bro. Like it's insane.
Imagine, bro.
The impact he had.
You're 21?
You're 20? I'm 20. Okay. Like I turned 20 in September, so I'm like 20 in 4 months. So yeah, but it was crazy. Like the impact he had. You know, Pop Smoke too.
Yeah, he died too.
They were both the same age. XXX. All 3 of them were like literally like 20 years old. Yeah, I love Pop Smoke.
Because I'm from New Jersey, so they played on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
Like, welcome to the party.
Yeah. I loved his voice, too.
Yeah.
So good, bro.
You know who has a good voice?
Who?
Chance the Rapper.
Oh, yeah.
I like his voice, man.
Yeah, I'm not really, like, huge into him, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
I like to play on new albums every now and then, rock, raps, whatever. And today I was listening to Coloring Book. And, like, the first 2 songs I know them, they're really good. Elite songs. All We Got, beautiful song. No Problem, beautiful song, but I don't like any of the songs on the album. But his voice is really nice.
Well, that's good. At least you found a couple that you like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like doing that with albums, too. It's just, like, going through. Even with, like, older rock albums, like, we were talking about in the gym the other day, Guns N' Roses. You know,
ooh, I love Guns N' Roses.
I think it's Appetite for Destruction. It's like
beautiful album.
Yeah, so I didn't go through that whole thing until recently, and I actually really
Same
like
here.
it. Yeah, no, it's funny.
Literally 2 months ago, I listened for the first time.
Yeah, because you get kind of drowned out by all the like the big hits, and you don't go into like the same stuff that they were doing during that era. And so I feel like it's a good idea because they made a big song like that. Like what's a good example? Welcome to the Jungle, something like that, right? Like they would. You got to look at what they were doing at the same time as that because
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Sweet Child of Mine is, in my opinion, top 5 rock song of all time.
That's a very good one. I
love that song. I think it was like my second or third most streamed song of last year.
Wow.
Beautiful song. My sister played in a rock band too. She plays the guitar.
Oh, that's so cool.
I really enjoyed watching it.
Is she older?
She's younger. She's a freshman in high school.
Oh, okay.
So.
Wow. So she was young then doing that. That's awesome. That's really cool. It's funny. My brother plays guitar as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
That's so cool.
It's funny because I know the 3 songs off that album before. Sweet Child of Mine. Paradise City is so good.
Oh, I love that. The intro. The intro goes so hard.
And I like Welcome to the Jungle too. But then we were driving in Japan with me and my family, and my dad likes Guns N' Roses a lot too.
Yeah.
He just knows the same songs as I do. I'll play it in the car. You're like, oh, that's so good. So he's like, yo, let's listen to Appetite for Destruction on this 5-hour drive we got.
Yep.
So I played it, and it was a good album. I just say that those hit songs are so good that it makes the rest of the album look okay.
I know.
But it's a good album. It's a good vibe.
Oh, for sure.
But it's interesting.
Those are 3 of my go-to songs for a heavy squat or deadlift set.
Yeah.
Just goes, it's so good. It makes it manageable,
It does. Yeah, I mean, you hear those, dude, the intro of Sweet Child of Mine makes you cry.
Yeah, actually. I wish there would be an era of music like that now, I just feel like there's nothing out right now that's really like that. It was just such a unique time. I would have loved to be growing up in the 80s and 90s. I feel like that would have been awesome.
But it's okay because I don't particularly look out for new music these days, rap or rock.
Yeah.
But you could just, what I do these days is I'll pull up top 100 rock albums of all time and just choose albums from the list for workouts.
Yeah, and just go into something you haven't listened to before.
Yeah, and sometimes I find some cool shit like Jimi Hendrix's album, Electric Ladyland is so good.
You heard Voodoo Child?
Yeah.
I love that song.
I like The Watchtower, Along the Watchtower.
Yeah.
That song is gas.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Bum, 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 bum.
I think I heard about Jimi Hendrix from Rogan initially, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's funny, yeah. I literally just random number generator, choose an album from the 100. And Electrically, let's check it out.
No, that is a good idea. I should do that more, honestly.
It's fun.
With rap, too.
But, dude, best rock. This is off of Scorpion. This is my number 1 streamed album of all time. Because this is the reason I got Spotify.
It's a good one, yeah.
Because I remember I was big into Drake when this came out in 6th grade. And it wasn't on YouTube. I'm like, fuck, I got to stop using YouTube to listen to music.
Yeah.
So I got Spotify.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but I feel like sophomore year onward, I really like my music taste. Because I really like the old hip-hop stuff.
Yeah.
Little Brother, Ninth Wonder, all these Madlib, MF Doom, Common. I've been really getting into them, and they're amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy, because those are some more, I feel like unconventional, older rappers almost. And that's good. Because that's an almost different niche from your Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z. Because I feel like a lot of people were into them, and Dr. Dre.
Right. I never got into Tupac, Biggie, or.
So you weren't too much into gangster rap, you'd say, 90s gangster rap.
I never tried to get into it. I'd say it's not I like their songs, their hit songs, but I never found myself exploring it.
Yeah, that's one thing I would recommend because that is very good. Very.
You recommended a Wu-Tang Clan too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a little bit different. But yeah, I knew you were into A Tribe Called Quest.
I love Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah.
They're so good. Have you ever listened to Nevermind by Nirvana?
Yes. Yes,
dude,
bro.
What an album, bro. That shit's insane.
Oh my god, such a good album. That was another one where I hadn't listened to the whole thing through until recently.
Same.
But there's so many underestimated, just underrated and underestimated. Oh my god,
Lithium
bro.
Drain You.
Yeah, In Bloom, stuff like that.
I love In Bloom.
What was another one? Dumb. I really like that one.
Dumb?
Too. Yeah.
What's Dumb?
It's on that album. It's so good.
What's it called?
Yeah, just
D-U-M-B.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on the album, dude.
I feel like it is.
I know every song on that album.
Or it's on the one
one
with the heart-shaped box.
Yeah, it's on that one.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it.
My bad. Fake fan over here. No, but yeah, dude, that album is very good.
Dude, it's so good.
Yeah, I sometimes get those two confused because I listen to both of them so much.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah.
Bro, it is such there's no music out there like it. I knew Smells Like Teen Spirit and Come As You Are before.
Yeah.
And then I tried listening to it one day in the car in August. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at first. And Bloom was okay. I didn't like any of the songs off it. So I stopped listening to it at Poly, and I'm like, okay, I just turned it off, right? And then randomly one day, I was walking out of class from MLB, and I was just thinking about the song Lithium. I'm like, I'm not listening to this album in like 3 months. But for some reason, I want to listen to it. I played it. I'm like, for some reason, out of nowhere, I loved the song. Mm-hmm. And the next song played, and I loved every single song after that. Yeah. I'm like, dude, and I fell in love with this album out of nowhere.
What's that other one? Something in the Way. When they played that, have you seen the Batman movie?
My friend was telling me about this on the last podcast, and I have not seen it.
Oh, you gotta watch it, dude. The intro with that song going is just so good. Are you like a fan of Batman or no?
I don't watch movies, man.
Oh, bro, you're missing out.
I'm down to, but I just never find myself watching them.
But honestly, some of those are definitely worth it. I feel like, because you get some of your favorite songs with your favorite superheroes, and it's just like, bro, it's so good.
It's a surreal feeling, bro.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I'll even talk to some of my friends that are girls about this stuff, and they're like, yeah, I love like the Batman movie. I'm like, that's crazy.
Something in the way.
So good, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
bro, have you heard Endless Nameless?
I haven't.
The last song on the album.
No.
Everyone I talked to does not like the song. And typically, I don't like songs that's just yelling and noise.
Actually, I probably heard it, but I didn't. But I skipped over it. I feel like
the last song on the album, no one likes it, yelling and noise, but I love it.
Yeah.
It is just noise, but if you really get into it, dude, it's such a good song, and it's a really cool story behind it too. Because if you buy the vinyl for it, it's not listed on the vinyl. So the last song on the album was not listed.
Maybe that's why I haven't heard it. Because I feel like it isn't listed on like their original Nevermind album. Maybe it's on the deluxe or something.
Maybe it's on the remastered version.
Yeah.
Because what's the funny story is, the song was never supposed to be on the album, and they made it impromptu live. And so they were trying to record Lithium, and apparently they were getting like angry because it wasn't working. And then the lead singer and the guitarist, they started getting angry. So they just started
and then
making
they just recorded
on the fly. They just made a whole song.
Yeah.
And literally the lead singer, I don't remember his name, saying "No mas." No mas, silence.
That's when really good music comes out, is when artists are trying to be spontaneous like that.
Yeah.
I have another story about that. You a fan of the Beatles at all?
I haven't gotten into them either. I'm gonna get into them soon.
You absolutely
I'm gonna
should.
listen to some albums.
So John Lennon, the lead singer of the Beatles, he was sick for one of his recording sessions of one of his songs. What's it called? Twist and Shout.
Okay.
It's a really good song. It's like an older, the Beatles are older obviously, but he was sick. I think he had some respiratory issues, and so his voice was like really hoarse and like raspy, and he just sounded so good on it. And when he would perform it live, it was just totally different. People were like, what is this? Like, why does it not sound like what it did in the studio?
Oh man.
And it's because he was sick during recording, and I feel like stuff like that's just so cool when you know backstories to songs like that. Yeah,
that's definitely true.
Love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my dad used to always sing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" when we were young.
Yeah.
And we'd be walking to the supermarket or something. He's like,
good.
I want to hold you. Yep. I mean, I know a lot of their songs, and they're really good.
Yep.
Like Hey Jude, and they're all just
yeah, my dad got me into them. He would listen to like their entire albums, like in the car rides, like up north. You know up north Michigan, like that's what we call it, like northern Michigan. We just say it's up north.
Okay.
So we have a cottage up there, and
not UP though.
No, it's like it's just northern Michigan, but not the UP. So we have a cottage there, and he'd listen.
Near Traverse City.
Kind of, yeah.
That's like out west.
Yeah, pretty close. So that's more west, and this is like more north. So I think Traverse City is like 2 hours from here. If we were to go to my cottage, I think it's like 3 hours north of here or something like that. So, yeah.
Nice, dude. Well, yeah. With the one more thing I didn't mention with Endless Nameless is that they recorded it on the impromptu, and it was just a noisy song, and they just totally out of nowhere.
Yep.
They put it on the vinyl, but after the last song is over, which I think is Something in the Way, they make it seem like that's the last song.
Yeah.
And there's 10 minutes of silence that plays on the record before that song plays.
Wait, is it just on the record or in the album?
It's on Spotify now too.
Okay.
But originally it was on the record, but after 10 minutes silence, it wasn't listed anywhere, so nobody knows about it. So it'd be like a surprise song that if you accidentally, like, let's say you're playing Nevermind by Nirvana on the vinyl or the record, and like you just leave it on for like 10 minutes and you forgot to turn it off.
You think it's done,
and so you like leave the room and you come back and you hear this like loud banging sound, like it probably freaked the fuck out of you.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that.
Such a cool part of it, and I love it. If I really gotta hit a set, I'll listen to that song.
Yeah. I actually don't think I've heard it before, so I'll definitely have to listen to it.
Yeah, we'll play it sometime.
Yeah, but we got a whole list of music that we're gonna have to go through.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'll recommend you stuff. You recommend me
shared
stuff.
playlist in the future.
Let's do
it. Do that shit, bro.
Yeah, next lift. I mean, I was telling you this before. Like, it's so funny how we randomly got close to each other.
I know, right? It was just like fast too.
Yeah.
Like it was just, cause when did we meet? Like
I remember
maybe a month ago, maybe a little.
It was actually pretty far back.
Really?
So, I was lifting at Palmer in October, and usually I don't do this, but I just so happened that in a 1 week time frame out of the whole year, right? 1 week time frame, I decided that it'd be fun to lift with people.
Yep.
So that week, every time I'd meet someone cool, I'd ask them to lift with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like the third person I end up meeting. And I think you worked in with me on tricep extensions.
Yeah.
I had a quick conversation with you. And then I wasn't going to like talk to you after that, but I saw you doing bicep curls lying down flat on the bench. You remember that shit?
Yeah, dude.
Like, this guy looks like an idiot, but it kind of looks cool and I kind of want to do it.
Yeah, I know. I think that every time I do that exercise. So for those of you who don't know, so literally you'll lay down on a bench, like literally laying down.
Like fully flat.
So not an incline. It's flat on a bench. And you're like laying down, curling. It looks so stupid, but shit is effective. I'll give you that. And so we talked about it. Yeah, bro, I remember that. That was good.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm looking for people to work out, and I just asked you out of nowhere. And
yeah, that's crazy.
But it's not even the craziest part because like we lifted together. We had a good chest day.
Yeah.
And then like, I think the next week's when I made the decision to start going in the mornings. So then like we kind of stopped talking for like 2 months.
I was also training for boxing as well, so I stopped going to the gym as much because. Yeah, bro. I was training for my fight, so I had to kind of lock in on that.
So when I was trying to find people to lift with, I actually made a list on my Google Doc of people I've asked.
All
right, and then in exam week, at this point in time, I've been lifting at 7 a.m. Like I don't lift with people. I kind of lift with my own. If someone's there, I'll say what's up.
Yeah.
Exam week, I want to study in the mornings, and I kind of want to lift with people in the evenings because the gym's getting empty, so my workouts are getting shit.
Right.
So I started like looking through my old list. I'm like, oh, Charlie Copeland.
Yep.
I remember he was this really cool guy. We lifted once, and we just stopped talking for 2 months.
Yeah, I remember you hit me up randomly, and you're like, yo, you want to lift? I was like, hell yeah, I want to lift.
I texted you. And then since then, we've just been lifting so much.
Yeah.
And we just got really close out of nowhere.
Yep.
And it's been cool, man.
That was awesome, man. I honestly thought it was more recent because, maybe you're right. Maybe we did meet in like October or something, but yeah, more recently we became a lot closer. I think it's because after my fight I started lifting more. So
yeah. And then I started coming in the evenings after.
Yeah.
And now we've just been running into each other all the time.
Wait, how long have you been going in the evening for?
Since I got back from break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it just then, like before you went in the morning?
Yeah, before like pretty much all of November.
Wow.
December too, I was going in the mornings.
I'm curious, what's your experience with it? Do you like going in the morning more, or you do?
It's a trade-off because like there are things I like in the morning and there are things I like in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning, it's fun to just get up and feel like you're doing something.
Yeah.
And then you feel really good walking out when the sun's up because the sun wasn't up when you went in.
Yeah.
So that's a really good feeling. You get breakfast, and then like I think it's more effective too when you get your lift in the morning and your meals follow it. And also, I just feel like it sets up my day pretty well that I feel like the effects of it last all day, and I feel pretty good. And it's a nice routine to be in where you go in the morning, you see the morning guys, same guys every time.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I've been started lifting the evening now is because a lot of my closer friends, you included, my 3 closest friends, probably John Walshick, Charlie Copeland, and Charlie Faith, another Charlie.
Is that other dude I met?
Yeah, other Charlie, same water bottle.
Yep.
Yeah, like you 3 are part of my closest friends, and you guys all go in the evening. It's been fun to live with you guys. So
no, for sure.
That's the reason. I actually like it when it's packed.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like I just have more energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even an ego thing.
It's just like a more lively environment. So you're like more. I don't know. I feel that too.
It makes me happy to see that many people working hard, and then I just like let's fucking go.
And when you know people there who are also working hard, like it's just I don't know, it's just such.
And there's so many more people you can meet and work in with, and when you're working with someone, you're kind of working out with them, so you're getting a better lift.
And you just like randomly strike up a conversation with people too. Like that's a good way to meet people. Honestly,
it's the best part of the day. Honestly,
yeah, for sure.
So I definitely always look forward to that, and I'm also been sleeping in an extra hour for my sleep schedules. I told you 11 to 8 because like. The 8 hours, like I feel like I've always been really good on 9 hours. Mm-hmm. All of high school, 9 hours been the perfect amount for me.
You really feel like you need 9. Like if you get less than that, you're not as.
Usually, when I go 9 hours, I jump out of bed and I feel great. 8 hours, like I can do it. I was doing 11 to 7 before, which I think you're on right now. Which is if it works for you, it's perfect.
Yep.
And I obviously felt a little sleep deprived every time I woke up, but I pushed through it. And then after 2 months, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, I feel the same way right now. Like honestly, I mean, I am pretty energized in the morning, but it could be better. But the thing is, like, I have early classes, so there's really nothing I can do. You know, like, if I went to bed at, say, 10, I wouldn't be able to get anything done. So, I don't know. It's hard to really manage your schedule, and you got to really figure out what works for you. Do you not have early classes, or what?
Earliest is 9 on Tuesday, Thursday. And then,
that's the same with me. And I have 8:30 Monday, Wednesday, so.
Yeah, other days are like 10, so.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's a trade-off for sure, because you can't get everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I was stressing out before I came here, like, what is the thing I'm going to sacrifice this term?
Yeah.
And, you know, before sleep was perfect. It made perfect sense. That right now I can live with less sleep. It just made sense at the time. Right now it just like makes sense in my head that I feel like I need more sleep at this stage in my life.
Yep.
And also it's cool to hang out with friends in the evening. It's like I feel like by the season you change and you kind of can feel it out. But
yeah, for me, I feel like, you know, I really enjoy working out. So it's more of a reward for me. And like I'm not going to reward myself at the beginning of the day when I haven't done anything yet, right? And so I struggle more with like actually grinding on the schoolwork end. Like I can work out all day, bro. But as soon as you make me like go and study the books and stuff, it's just like, bro, I hate that shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like it is so like mundane and boring, but I force myself to do it. And so I won't work out if I don't do a good 3 hours of studying outside of class. And so it's almost like a reward. And it's different because you know, you talk about your whole experience with it. It's funny because we have very different explanations for why we do what we do, but like anything can really work. Like I look into this a lot. Did I tell you I'm a certified personal trainer?
I don't think you did. But yeah, I know it's a lot of work to get that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was like a good 2 months of learning and stuff. So, like during that process, I learned that there are a lot of different things you can do to get good results, and you know what time you choose to go to the gym is included in that, right? So, you know, it mainly comes down to what you enjoy doing better, because that's what you're going to stick to, right? So if you're more consistent, then you're going to really enjoy doing it, right? And so I'm trying to teach this to my brother right now because he struggles a little bit with consistency, but we're working on it. I did at his age too, so yeah, it's good.
Amazing. And turn the camera.
Yep.
All good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think definitely the people I can relate to now, like you, always see gym as the award. So people are talking about like I got to get out the way in the morning. Usually people don't like it very much. So I understand that. Like I look forward to it all day.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you seem to like more recently struggle with academic related stuff. So have you like found ways to combat that? Like, is there a time of day where you feel like you're better at locking in, or something you do now to get yourself in that mindset? Or?
Yeah, it's funny you ask, bro, because I've been experimenting with stuff for a while. Even last semester, honestly, I really was not as locked in as I should have been. I did pretty poor in like one class. I mean, I did well in most others. It's not as bad as you think. But yeah, I would struggle a little bit with just locking in, and so I had to kind of experiment with, you know, what works better for me. And I found that if I am studying in the morning, that it does work better. Like my mind's just more fresh. And even fasted, like if I'm fasting, I tend to do a little bit better in school. But you know, trying to gain weight it's not very lucrative to fasting. So but yeah, in the morning is usually when I'll get my studying done. That's why I kind of have early classes this semester as well. Mainly intentional. It's partially because that's when they were offered, but yeah, I feel like in the morning I'm definitely best at locking in, and so it has been a bit of a change because last semester I was prepping for that boxing match, and so I really fell off school because I was so focused on that. I really wanted to do well and give it my all, and you know, when you're given something that's a physical pursuit like that, you really can't focus on school as much, so it's hard. It was really a trade-off.
It's always some kind of trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you mentioned intermittent fasting.
Yep.
Because I did that a lot in high school, senior year. Like, I would go on a pretty extreme schedule just because at the time it was most comfortable and made sense to me. But I was sleeping at 9 and waking up at 5:30.
Okay.
Doing schoolwork in the morning from like 6 to 7.
Yeah.
It's 5:30 to 7-ish. And then go eat breakfast and then go to the classes. It's been hard to do studying in the morning just because of my sleep schedule. Right. Plus also just because I'm bulking and I really want to get 4 meals a day. So it's more effective to just wake up and eat. And I hate eating in the morning.
Wait, I'm curious. How many calories are you trying to get in?
I don't track, but it's roughly 3,500 to 4,000.
Okay,
yeah.
wow,
it's about 4 meals a day.
Dude, that's a lot. That's more than I would usually do. That's crazy. I think I'm around 3,000 right now. Yeah. I'm just trying to maintain.
I think right now it's probably lower just because I remember last term, like, each meal would be pretty significant.
Yeah.
It's been weird right now because like, the washing machines are kind of broken in the dining hall, and they've been giving these small containers, and I've been struggling to get back into bulking. So I'm probably not at 3,500 to 4,000, but in my peak era when I'm gaining the most weight, that's what I run.
Yeah, so. Honestly, more on that. I have kind of a weird experience with like bulking and cutting. I've not been able to gain weight very easily. I'm sure you kind of deal with the same thing. And honestly, I've found the most success when I'm eating in like a slight calorie surplus. Like, you know, because I've done it all. I've done like bulks, like heavy bulks where I eat like over 1,000 calories over my maintenance. And honestly, you just gain a shit ton of fat. And it really, I don't know, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like if you eat like 500 calories over your maintenance, I feel like that's all you need to do, because you'll slowly gain fat, but you'll also slowly gain muscle. And I think that more of the weight will come from muscle than if you just ate a shit ton of calories and just for no reason, you know?
Yeah, and it's funny because everyone I talk to kind of comes to like a different realization that works for them. And I think that's one of the coolest parts about it.
Yeah, absolutely. The individuality in training, because there's no one way to do it. It's just what works best for you, you know?
Yeah. So what's interesting to me, so luckily I've so far not had to deal with fat. Like, I could eat as much as I'm telling you and not gain fat.
Yeah, I thought I wouldn't have an issue with that either, bro, but I was looking earlier this year.
Yeah.
I was eating like garbage. I
eat clean, so yeah.
Yeah,
and so do you now.
I just recently started eating more clean, and you know, my one thing was my face was so bloated, bro. When I was eating all that sugar and like just random shit, bro. I would have like a pint of ice cream before I went to bed every night, just trying to gain as much weight as possible. I would get up to like 165, something like that. And I was just a fat ass, because I've had trouble putting on weight my whole life, and like my physique still looked lean. It was just my face stored all the fat. It was ridiculous. It was so fucking annoying.
Bro. Yeah. I feel like if you eat clean, it's hard to get fat.
Yeah, seriously. Like right now, I'm probably eating close to 3,000 calories a day, but it's all clean, no sugar.
That's amazing.
No added sugar. Ton of protein, tons of carbs, good fat. Yeah. And like that combined with good sleep, it's just different, bro. It just hits
like
so
I
different.
really wish I could run intermittent fasting right now.
Me too, bro. Like, dude, but you can't, because you know it's
got to bulk, man.
Yeah, exactly. How are you gonna get that?
You can't do both.
Yeah.
Like, exam week, I stopped bulking, and I was eating at 12 and 6, and it was heaven, bro.
Yeah.
It was heaven. Like, I would do schoolwork. I remember on the
first. You probably felt great in the morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I came into this room, man, from Mojo at like 7 or 8 in the morning on like Monday or something, or Monday or Tuesday, and I came here and I grinded 2 hours of schoolwork.
Yeah.
And then 10:30, 11, I met my friend at the dining hall, and food tastes so good after you fast. Grinded all morning.
Oh, for sure.
Dude, I live for that. I live for those 12 o'clock meals, man.
I know. And like the thing is, when you don't eat until noon, like that's biologically what you're meant to do. Like, I'm not the biggest science dude, but like
bro science.
Yeah, bro science for real. But you know, our ancestors didn't have a meal right when they woke up, right? And so we're not naturally accustomed to that as much, I don't feel like. So, you know, they'd hunt something and maybe eat it like noon, maybe even later, right? And so they were most productive, and they were like preparing to go on a hunt from like when they woke up to whenever they caught that meal, right? And so that's why I feel like it's better to be intermittent fasting, at least for your productivity, maybe not for your bulking goals, but yeah, like I definitely believe in that, and I'm gonna do that when I'm a little bit more advanced, like especially in my career, because basically right now I'm just focusing on putting on as much muscle as possible. And so like once I'm at a good point where I'm satisfied, I'm gonna move towards intermittent fasting, because then it's about brain health and longevity, stuff like that. So
yeah. That's sick, man. I just think that whenever I think about my ideal life, I see, like, this is actually advice I could use from you, because
yeah, for sure,
if I think about the perfect life, I wouldn't be bulking right now.
Yep.
I'm kind of tired of it. I want a long break from it.
But why?
Because I don't like eating all day, and lifting's fun, but there's other things I'd rather do right now.
Okay.
Like, for example, my ideal life, I'd first eat twice a day.
Yep.
12 and 6. I would probably, I'll take a break from like lifting stuff, like start wrestling or something instead. I miss wrestling, honestly, do. But
they have club wrestling.
Yeah, and my friend, I actually went to one of the practices, and it seems fun, and I'm interested in it.
Mm.
And I feel like I'd want to do that, podcasting, wrestling, eating less.
Yep.
And like then obviously fill the rest of the time with schoolwork, and I feel like that'd be a really fun lifestyle.
Yeah.
But in my mind, if I had to decide between that lifestyle and bulking, I feel like I'd rather bulk, because.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like I always say that. Like, when is that perfect day coming?
And bro, the thing is, you can always do that stuff later on, or you can do it now, but just less of it. Like, still do those things that you enjoy, obviously, but like, it doesn't have to be a ton of it. You know, so I would focus your number one thing on, you know, gaining weight and gaining strength for now. And once you get a good base, then you can do those things more because you're going to be better at them, right? So say you become more of a, you know, muscular, dense athlete, you're going to be better at wrestling when you actually do it than if you just go and do it now, for example. And you did it in high school, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure if you were more dense in terms of muscle, I feel like you would have probably done better,
yes.
Right? So it's the same type thing. Like, you know, I definitely feel like you should build a good base. Like, this was me for my boxing match. Like, I could have technically cut to, like, 140, something like that, but I would have had way less muscle and felt way less explosive and
especially
athletic.
At your age, I don't know if that's something you'd want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to cut that much weight at all. Yeah, and so I ended up fighting at, like, 152, and I was, like, you know, pretty lean still, but I had a lot of my muscle still. And, yeah, I just felt my best, honestly. But the thing is, I had 3 weeks notice for it, bro. And so I could not dial in the cardio properly. And that's why I lost, realistically. Like, I did lose my fight. But
tell me about your match. We never talked about it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it. Did I show you before?
You haven't, man.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to show you at some point. I do, actually, yeah.
Like on computer?
Yeah.
Can you email it to me? I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Should we just cut out this segment?
Yeah, just do it right now.
All right.
Yeah. Take your time.
Yeah. No, bro. I can't believe we've even talked about this before. That's crazy.
We never got into it, but then I think when I invented the podcast, I'm like, let's save it for the podcast.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited for it.
Let's see. When was this?
This is the Logic album I was telling you about, Vinyl Days.
Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. Which one was it? It's so funny. You're going to be able to hear, like, my parents screaming on here and shit. All right, I got it. Hold on.
Perfect, yes. Well, you have my email?
Wait, so how am I going to be able to send these from my camera roll?
AirDrop it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so it's like 3 videos.
Yeah, don't text it. Just make sure you AirDrop it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Because I won't be able to get it if it's text.
Yep. Dude, this has been good so far, though.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
That's text.
But it should AirDrop it, right?
No, you have to do that.
Oh,
I've done the same mistake so many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
It's good. It happens.
Whoops.
I think click it again. It's weird. Fuck.
Huh.
It should pop up here, like where you can AirDrop. Put your 3 fingers on maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, if not, honestly, we don't have to talk about it.
That's alright.
It's fine.
It's so weird, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, it is what it is. It's fine. We can just talk about it.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, audio still going?
Yep.
Alright, we're back. No video, unfortunately.
Yeah, a little technical difficulties. It's fine. I'll just walk you through it. Like, so.
Yeah. Before the match, tell me about going in the match. So you're 3 weeks notice, first moments.
Yeah. So my coach. So the organization, first of all, it's student led. Like, all our coaches are mainly like, you know, pretty much our age. They're juniors and seniors for the most part, and so. My buddy Liam, he's also our president. He texted me because I knew I'd probably be fighting pretty soon. And so he texted me. He's like, yo, so you could be fighting in Texas this coming month. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Texas? You went to Texas?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He texted
tell
me.
the story.
So, yeah, he said, you could be fighting in Texas. So I was amped. I was like, holy shit, I am not ready at all. And so I didn't get matched up, actually, for Texas. And so he was like, yo, so we got another opportunity for Virginia. And so that's where I ended up going. So it was a 10-hour drive to Virginia.
Come here.
Yeah, okay, so I'll back up a little bit. When he first texted me, I was, like, gassed. Honestly, I wasn't even nervous at all. And genuinely, like, the whole lead up, I really wasn't nervous. At least my mind wasn't. But, like, my body was. Every day after he texted me, I was literally nauseous when I woke up. And the weird thing is, the day after my fight, that stopped, which I don't quite understand.
Wow.
But like, it's got to be something psychological, like
definitely
deep psychology there. But yeah. So it was 10-hour drive to Virginia. We get there at like 1 a.m. Our team was renting these we had these hotel rooms. And they weren't available, and like
when you got there,
so we get there at 1 a.m. and they're like, "Yo, so you booked them for we got there Wednesday. They're like, yeah, you booked it for Thursday. We're like, fuck. And so we got to find a new place the day before the fight at 1 a.m. and find somewhere to sleep. So I ended up getting like 5 hours of sleep the night before my fight, which obviously is not ideal, right? And so, you know, you would have thought it would like mentally impact me, but it really didn't. Like I felt good the whole lead up, and it was really a bizarre setup. Like you'll see when I show you the video, it was like on a stage in front of a ton of people, like these wealthy businessmen. It was in front of like these guys in Virginia.
This is a major fight, man.
It was crazy, bro. There were like 100 people in the crowd.
Was the guy you're fighting? This was his first time too, or?
Yeah, he was from Virginia. It was his first fight as well. He was
what school does he go to?
Virginia Military Institute. So he's a military dude. He was tough. He was a tough dude. But yeah, he was this lanky dude. He was probably 6'1", 6'2", like 150. He was skinny, but he had a long ass reach, and he was like pretty tough. But
we had a nasty
yeah, so I get there
hook
at the place, and we're waiting in the back before our fight, and the thing is they have all the fighters in the same like area, so I can see this dude. I'm staring him down the whole time. Bro will not make eye contact with me. I don't know if he was scared or what, and he told me after, he was like, yeah, I was pretty scared before. I was like, yeah, honestly I wasn't, but I probably should have been. but yeah, super chill dude, by the way. After I talked to him, he was so chill, and I hated his ass before. I don't know why, but I had to get myself into that zone. But yeah, so we were all together in the back before the fight. We walk up on this stage, and they shine like a spotlight on you before you walk, and you make your ring walk like with the spotlight on you, with all these wealthy businessmen fucking booing you and stuff. It was crazy, dude. Because I was from Michigan and this guy was from Virginia, so they all wanted me to lose.
Yeah, it's your home crowd.
And my parents flew out actually with my little brother, and they were in the crowd. And apparently, like while I was fighting, they were like, knock this kid out, like talking about me. And my parents were like, yeah, that shit was awful to hear. And honestly, it was so cool to like hear their experience. Cause
their parents' experience?
Yeah, because I barely remember mine, honestly. It's like a...
Dude, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Like, I was in and I was out. I barely remember it, honestly. And,
why does it always happen, man?
I know, it's weird. Did you find that with wrestling?
I've heard about this story a lot with people I've talked to on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like
so my friend, didn't really experience that yourself?
I don't know if there's a big enough moment for it. That's probably why.
I got you.
Like, let me think. I feel like it really happens when it's like a big, meaningful moment, like your first match. Like you have a big crowd, lights, anything. I think it all has to add up for that to happen.
Yep.
But my friend Colton Simons, he's my roommate next year. Like he described the same feeling for when he went for the when he won Michigan State, state wrestling championships for Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. That's
dude,
cool.
everyone I talked to is like, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, it was so bizarre. But honestly, I'm probably glad I don't remember everything because I didn't perform as well as I wanted to, mainly due to cardio. So, yeah, I'll walk you through the fight. So, arguably, I could have won. I think it was the right decision that I didn't get, given the decision. And so...
This is the same system as professional boxing with 10, 9, 8 per rounds?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay,
so how many rounds were there?
3 2-minute rounds. So, it's not like... It doesn't sound like much, right? But the thing is, it's amateur boxing. It's like very fast paced. When you watch a professional boxing match, they're a lot slower and like more intentional with their punches. This is literally like you're going in and trying to kill the dude, right? So you're swinging, you're going ape shit, right? So, yeah, I mean.
Did you have a strategy going in?
Somewhat. It kind of went out the window as soon as I saw this dude getting hurt, because I hurt the dude in the first round, and I thought I had him finished, and I almost did. Like, I rocked him pretty hard because I was hitting him to the body a good bit because he was taller. And so, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the strategy was go to the body early and then bring it up top later on. And so I somewhat implemented that until I started getting a little overzealous with my punches. Like, I was swinging a little more wildly because I was like, dude, I have this guy hurt in front of me. Like, I got to go for him, right? And so, long story short, I ended up using a lot of my gas tank in the first round. And so I kind of struggled through the second.
Did you win the first round?
Yeah, the first and second I won.
Was it 10-9 or something? Or?
Well, I don't know. It's weird how they do the scoring. I don't know exactly what it was, but I objectively won the first round. I mean, arguably won the second. It could have gone either way, but
Who actually won it though?
Yeah.
Is there a winner per round or no?
I don't think so. I think it's total.
Got it.
I think it's total punches. So yeah, it's a little bit different from professional. But yeah. So, and I think the reason I lost is because it is total. Because the last round he fucked me up pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like nothing. I didn't get knocked down or anything like that. And honestly, I wasn't even rocked. But he was hitting me a good bit because I was just dead tired. I was like,
it was a close match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think cardio is the biggest thing you'd work on next time?
Yeah, for sure. And like being a little bit more muscle bound in general, I feel like was not good for me. If I were to do it again, maybe I'd cut a little bit more, and then because I know I was talking about that earlier, but maybe I'd cut a tiny bit more, and then obviously focus on, cardio and stuff like that because it's huge.
That's insane, man. Can you remember? I know you don't remember the event much, but can you remember what it felt like right before you walked out?
Right before I walked out, dude, I was uber confident. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It was bizarre. It was one of the most like pivotal moments of my life. I feel like because I'd spent the last 3 weeks living, sleeping, and breathing boxing. Like it was all I thought about and all I did. I would train 2-3 times a day.
What season was this? November?
Yeah, this was like right before November. The fight was November 7th, okay. So it was like all through October pretty much. And yeah, it was huge. Like that's all I did was just focus on boxing, and to my detriment because school, I should have been doing a little bit more. But I mean, to have an experience like that, I definitely think it was worth it looking back.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. Yeah. That really is beautiful. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would dream of doing something like that.
I know, but it was a dream of mine for a long time, and I'm just so glad that I made it come true, even though I didn't get like the decision.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've questioned whether or not I'm going to do it again, because I don't know, I just want to do more stuff, powerlifting, bodybuilding.
So many things we can do with life. That's the big
exactly.
thing.
And like, why? I mean, I might go back to it. Who knows? I'm just gonna kind of play it by ear.
Follow intuition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, I'm gonna definitely do bodybuilding and powerlifting next. That's the goal. And it's the same type thing. Like stepping on a bodybuilding stage is kind of like the same thing. Like the lights are on you. You prepared for something. It's like, it's intense.
Well, I respect the hell out of you for going out and doing it. It's so easy to make excuses. It's so easy to be like, now is not the time. Maybe I do that sometimes too. But fuck, man, you just said, let's do it, and you did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's beautiful.
I think that's a lot of...
Even if it's a one-time thing.
Yeah, it's super important to do stuff like that because, if you're... I'm a big fan of, like, getting uncomfortable. Like, we were talking about this the other day. I forgot in what context. But, it's good to get uncomfortable every once in a while. Take cold showers? Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, I used to be a lot more consistent with it, but it got easy for me. Not to brag, but
It's funny because it hasn't gotten easy for me yet. Because I started doing them junior year, and then they did get easy for me senior year.
Yeah.
But then they got really hard as soon as I got here.
Have you ever done like regular cold plunges, like in an ice bath?
They're fun.
Yeah, I used to do those a bunch. Those are still hard. Those are always going to be hard.
Because they're much colder than a cold shower.
Yeah, I don't find cold showers very hard. I'm not going to lie. I mean, a lot of people do, but
I find cold plunges easier, even though they're colder and they suck more. Cause
how long you usually stay in for?
Like at least 60 seconds. But the
Dude,
reason
I would do 4 minutes.
That's probably why. But the reason I feel like they're easier. Obviously, being inside a cold plunge is a lot harder than being inside a cold shower. It's much colder and it sucks. And you walk out, your whole body burns and like your balls like start to squeeze up. So
right, exactly.
It's just weird.
Inside your stomach.
Yeah. So there's actually a place called Russian Banya near my house where there's cold plunges, saunas. So we go hang out.
That's cool.
The sauna actually sucks more than the cold plunge sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think the reason it sucks less is because you go there to do it, so you've kind of already mentally prepared yourself to do it.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like...
Would you do cold showers in the morning?
Yeah.
Like that's what... Yeah.
That's why it sucks with cold showers. Because when I wake up here and it's dark outside and it's snowing and it's cold in the bathroom, I don't want to step inside. And the Mojo showers are ice cold. Like I'll touch I won't be able to feel my hand.
Yeah, that's how mine is.
That's why it sucks.
In my apartment too. It's the same way.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter. Like it's pretty brutal. Like when you... And the thing that I would do, I would force myself, like as soon as I got out of bed, my alarm would go off, hop out of bed, go get in it first thing.
Same, yeah.
It's so hard, bro. It's
sucks.
Brutal.
But it's easier for you now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it anymore purely because it got easy, and I don't know. I like pushing myself in other ways. It's harder for me to get up and go study than it is for me to get up and do a cold shower, and that's why I do it pretty much. So.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I'm like really grateful that it got hard again because I feel like most hard things get easier. Pretty much all hard things get easier. But the fact that I can hold on to something that's hard and stays hard every morning, it's like, damn, I like that a lot. Like, keep that.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing for like routine, Yeah, absolutely. Are you big into like routines and that sort of thing? Are you pretty regimented with that sort of thing?
Yes, I was pretty crazy senior year with my routine.
Me too, bro. Yeah. Last year and senior year in high school, I was the same way.
Yeah. I think coming here, I can tell you the progression.
Mm-hmm.
I really got into it the first time junior year, and I had a pretty good routine back then. Like I would sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time every day.
Yeah.
That significantly improved my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that senior year is when I went on my extreme routine.
Yep.
So fall term, sleeping at 9, I didn't miss a single day. Like I would never sleep past 9.
Wow.
I'd wake up 5:30 every single day.
That's awesome, bro.
Wake up, jump in the cold shower, have my stand-up desk on my table.
Yep.
Do schoolwork in my dorm, grind it out. Everything was scheduled. Go eat my meal.
Yep.
Go to class. At the time I was lifting after. Then I have this block for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Go to sleep at 9. I wasn't like social at all my senior year fall.
Yeah.
And that was intentional. I mean, I was pretty satisfied with life in general, with the interactions I had in my day to day. So it didn't bother me much.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like you have different eras of life, and I was happy with that at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
And when wrestling season started is when it started to get insane, because I was still running the 9 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. every day.
Yep.
I would schoolwork in the morning. As soon as school's over, wrestling practice, and that was a lot as a toll on my body. So it was definitely a lot. And then I also was podcasting at the time, so I started podcasting.
Dude,
so I was doing a fuck ton.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I started podcasting at the hardest time to do podcasting, because I proved to myself that if I can do one podcast a week doing that routine, like I could probably do it wherever.
Yeah. I've been meaning to ask you, bro. Actually, why? I've been saving it for this. Why did you start this? Actually, I'm curious.
I can tell you a story. So I remember in my junior year, I was obsessed with this idea of like being friends with everybody.
Yep.
And I did it, and it never satisfied me.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't figure out why. Because I thought that that's what I wanted internally, and I did it, and it wasn't satisfying.
Yeah.
And it also kind of ruined my relationships with people. And I associated... Yeah, you gonna say something?
Yeah, so would you say you focus more on like quantity of people?
Yes.
Instead of quality?
I focus on quantity over quality.
Okay.
And it was weird because it did mess up my relationships with other people, so I immediately thought that having a lot of friends was a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might have done it to more get social status and social clout, as in it feels good to be known by everybody. Sure. And I think I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And I would even hold on to transient bonds even if they weren't meaningful. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of lost all meaningful bonds. So then I immediately told myself that having friends is bad. Like having a lot of friends is bad. Mm-hmm. Having few friends is better. So I immediately tried to switch over to that.
Yep.
But I came here now, and strangely enough, I feel like I'm in a place right now where I do have a lot of friends, but it's very different than how it was back then, because I never tried to. And I think after I spent a lot of senior year by myself until the end of senior year, when I met a group of guys who I really relate to and really respect, and I built a really nice friendship with them. And when I came to Michigan, I never really tried to make a lot of friends, but I was just naturally social with people, and naturally I found this like curiosity in me that I really enjoyed talking to people. Yeah. Like if I look at my day, one of the best parts of my day is actually meeting someone and learning about them. And I feel like now when I talk to people, it's very different from back then, because I'm not trying at all to meet people, but I genuinely feel like I love talking to people and learning about like what goes through their fucking head all day.
That's awesome, bro. You're doing it more with like intention now. I feel like before you were doing it, more for yourself, and now I feel like you're trying to do it more for, the general good of mankind and that sort of thing, and like you actually care more about other people. And that's the development that I made as well. I was in the same situation. Dude, it's crazy. Like hearing you talk about this stuff, it's like it's literally me, bro. Like I've done the same stuff. Like so many situations where you're using like you're talking about these stories. I'm like, bro, I've dealt with the same thing. Because in high school I was the same way. I dealt with the same type situation where I was friends with like a lot of people. And then I ended up being kind of more alone senior year, because I realized, okay, these relationships are not real. Like I've just developed these superficial relationships that are like, more for like clout, like you said. And I'd try and be friends with these people purely for my gain and not out of being a good friend in general. And I feel like that's a big thing. 100%.
It's amazing, man. Yeah. It's crazy how similar we are.
I know, like insane. The more we talk, the more it's like apparent too. Yeah. It's really insane.
I actually only really had this realization a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting at dinner with two of my friends, and this other guy came inside with us, and he reminded me of my old self. So my two friends, there were two girls, and he comes to sit with us.
Yep.
And he's more skinny. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything right now, but like
Send it to him, bro.
He's a cool guy. Don't get me wrong. But he was skinny and he was like acting like he was that guy. Mm-hmm. When it didn't like seem like he can be that guy, but he was trying to be that guy.
Like in what way was he?
Like he was the performer, you know, like he like we're sitting with these two girls and he knows everybody's coming by. He's like dabbing at everyone, and I've never seen him act like this ever in my life. And all of a sudden he knows everybody.
The dude who
just came inside
shows off a bit for the girls, that type of guy.
Yeah, he's showing off, but showing off's not a bad thing. But acting like you're something that you're not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I saw myself in him in the past.
Yeah, like, I mean, bro, I'll show off. I'll be the first to say.
And it's great to do it if you have something to show off.
Especially with girls, bro.
Yeah.
Because like it's good if you actually can back it up. It's a very good thing. But
that's
like,
the thing, you got to back it up.
And the thing is, people respect you if you actually can back up what you say.
Yes.
But like, I feel like a lot of people have a good way of detecting if there's false confidence or arrogance in someone, and so it comes off as a little bit inauthentic and you know, not very genuine. And I dealt with the same thing. You know, I come across people who I'm like, yo, that's what I was like when I was their age too.
Yeah.
And it is a lot in younger people. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's interesting because if you do that and you're happy in life, then go ahead and do it. Yeah. Not what you said, but what he did, right? If you do that and you find success and you're fulfilled, do it.
Yep.
But I just remembered when I used to do that, I was so unfulfilled. And it wasn't until like I built success in my life, then you could show it off and be proud of it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Then, you know, that's I think the only thing you need to be able to back it up.
Yep.
Not only for the sake of getting girls, but just for the sake of your own fulfillment and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe in humility and like kind of showing off at the same time, because like you just got to be realistic with yourself at the end of the day. You know, you can't like I don't know, bro, it's so funny. You can't have this persona almost, you know, because like at the end of the day, like you were talking about the fulfillment thing, like if you're pretending to be this person that you're not, you know, you're not really going to get anywhere. So it's only when you realize, okay, this is where I actually am, and you're being like brutally honest with yourself, and you're like, okay, I'm really not shit right now. I think about this all the time in certain areas, like, because, you know, when I go in the gym, I'm like, okay, I'm pretty damn developed in terms of a lot of things in the gym, and so, but when I go to class or, you know, even social situations, sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to work on this, and yeah, I feel like you just got to be honest with yourself at the end of the day, and that helps a lot.
So have you ever like struggled with that a lot, that trying to become this persona?
Yeah, honestly, bro, I did for a majority of my life. I don't even know, it was a lot of insecurities. I can't even really pinpoint any, to be honest with you, but I was just a very insecure person in general. I think it was because of my family life. My parents, with their divorce, it kind of took a toll on me, and I don't know, I felt like I almost lost part of myself in that, and I had to refine it, because I was a young kid. I was
11, right?
Yeah, 11, and I was like in the middle of development. That's like a very important age for kids, right? And so I felt like I kind of put that part of my life on pause, and I just recently started picking it back up.
Recently, as in like now?
Yeah, within the last year, I'd say, is like it's really weird, actually.
I'm sure it's hard to describe what it feels like.
It really is, yeah, because now I feel great. Like, I feel very confident and fulfilled, but I didn't feel that way for a long time. And I think the main way that I overcame that was the gym. And so, like, that's why I love it so much. That's, like, the main thing that keeps
really
me
just
going.
Finding something to elevate your self-image, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Insecurities can be really weird because it's hard to put them in words.
Yeah.
They're baked in so deep somewhere, like, where'd they come from?
For sure. And, like, you can like, say that you're over them, and sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm over this insecurity, but it'll hit me someday.
It will crawl back.
Yeah.
At the weirdest times.
You got to keep it in check, 100%.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. So, I guess at 11, you're probably 4th grade, 5th grade.
Something like that, yeah.
So you can you're at a point in life where you can kind of consciously understand what's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, do you remember, like, the state of mind or, like, the immediate effect of it? Like, was it something you expected was going to happen, or what was that initial moment like?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because I
Are you usually okay talking about it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so honestly, I don't even remember that much of my life. Like, before, when I was probably 17, I genuinely do not remember much of my life at all. It's really bizarre to describe too, like, I only remember myself as who I am, at least now. Like, I don't know, it might be weird phrasing, but like I don't even remember who I used to be back then almost. And maybe that's dramatic, but like, it was a complete contrast in who I was, and I felt like I was a lot more of a victim, and like I wasn't in control of my situation. Like we talked about that a little bit earlier. I felt like a complete lack of control for my situation, and so these past, I don't know, 2-3 years have been a lot about regaining control, and maybe even too much, like maybe to an extreme, because I find that I'm a bit of a perfectionist at times, and so I got to kind of wind myself down from that, because I don't know, I had a lack of control early on in my life, and so it's always been a battle trying to like not be too much of a perfectionist, but also still like remain somewhat normal. I don't know.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, because I think your situation is that immediately this event happens to you, and of course we can't remember most of the details, but we can kind of remember the emotions a little bit, that all of a sudden this event happens and you feel like you've lost control over things, and that kind of gets bookmarked as this giant fear that, holy shit, like I don't have control, this sucks.
So you never want to feel it again.
And you're always looking for how to find that control again. Even if you feel like you've escaped it, maybe if you remove the things in your life that give you control, like would you be able to be sane? Like if I took away the routine from you, I took away all the health stuff from you, and you're not in control anymore, your diet's all a mess, everything's a mess, like would that freak you out?
Dude, that is an awesome question, and that's like one of the deeper things that I've considered, and I love how you just like broke it down to that, because that's what it is, bro. The reason I do most of these things that I do is for control. Like I go to bed at the same time every night. I eat pretty much the same thing every day. Go to the gym at the same time. Probably all because of my fear of what would it be like if I didn't have control. And so, yeah, if you took away all that stuff, I don't know what I'd have, honestly. And that's a good question. I might have to explore that a little bit more. But yeah, I don't even know if I'd ever want to experience that, honestly. That'd be
scary.
That'd be crazy, yeah, because like I don't know. Even I think about that even with like lifting. Sometimes I think about, okay, if I got in a car accident and lost all my gains, what would it be like? Like how would I feel about myself? And I really don't think it would be good. Yeah, like I don't think I'd be happy with myself, and so like I do got to continue working on that. Like it's more of an internal thing that I have to fix, because I'm like I can say, yeah, I probably wouldn't be in a good state of mind if I lost all my gains or I lost my routine. It probably wouldn't be good for me, you know? So,
yeah. I mean, I've pondered on that sometimes too. This question of do I love myself for who I am or because of the things I do?
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it's true and stuff. Yes, we're looking for the control. We can try to ease that a little bit. It can get extreme sometimes. But sometimes you go too deep in the question as well. And it's like it's like a balance as well, because even people that are not insecure still do feel proud of their accomplishments. So it's like sometimes I go too far this side or too far that side.
I was just going to say actually about like you were talking about being proud of yourself. Like it's, you know, if I wasn't doing all the things that I'm currently doing, I wouldn't be proud of myself. And so I feel like they tie hand in hand almost, is like, you know, I want to be proud of myself. And if I didn't have the things that I have and, you know, the routines that I've built up and, you know, the physique that I've built, you know, I wouldn't be proud of myself, because I know that it's not the best that I can do. And once you see the best that you can do, you don't want to go back to any lesser version of that, you know?
Yeah. That's very true. And I think definitely if you come from a place where you don't have it, then you get it.
Yeah.
It's almost even more scary to lose it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, you know, I think of myself as a person too, and I'm really, things I'm most happy about, I'm happy with the physique I've built, you know. I mean, it's still on the way, but definitely much better than the twig I used to be.
Same, dude.
So, you know, happy with physique, happy with who I am as a person and how I live my life, as in trying to lead into fears and then do those things.
Yeah, and that's the most important part.
Yeah. And just like social skills, like I think I never had those three for a long time.
Me neither, dude. Yeah. That's why I feel like we've clicked so much, is because of those things that we never had. Because you can almost spot someone who's like that. I don't know. I feel like I've met very few people who are like that, but I've been able to pick them out almost immediately, and I knew that we'd be pretty close, like based on the early conversations that we had, just based on those things. You know, you can kind of tell when someone's like you. I feel like
you do. You get the vibe. Definitely get the vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, do you ever look at someone who's going through it and you could tell they're going through it because you've been there, as in someone who's not that physically attractive, not in shape, glasses on, they don't talk to people much. They like literally don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And you ever just wonder, like, damn, like, are they ever gonna get out of it?
Yeah, man, it's sad to think about because you look around and you see potential in people, like especially when you see people who are close to you go through that sort of thing. I feel like it's even harder. I've seen this maybe with my little brother a little bit. I know he's gonna be watching this, but yeah, like I've seen him make some mistakes that I've made myself, and you know, I just want to shake him and be like, bro, what are you doing? Like I've already been down that path, and that's the advantage of having an older brother, and why I maybe gets frustrated with him sometimes is because, like, you know, I've already made mistakes. Why not learn from mine instead of make them yourself? But I do understand at the end of the day, like, you learn more from making mistakes yourself.
That's an interesting balance I've thought about, and the way I've come to think about that one, because I struggle with that question a lot. Like, okay, you learn from your mistakes, but also are you wasting time?
Yep.
Right. Obviously, if you have experience, it's better off yourself. Like, if you go and make the mistakes, your understanding of it will be different.
As long as it's not, like, too costly, I feel like. As long as it's not, like, too big of a mistake, like, to the point where you're in trouble with the law or something like that. If it's, I don't know, if it's pretty innocent type thing, I feel like it's fine. And we've talked about this with, like, the whole drinking and partying type scene, right? Like, you know, it's good to get that experience because it's an important scene. Like, when you're at work, when you're older, there's going to be environments like that, and you have to know how to handle yourself and conduct yourself properly, you know. So, yeah, it is definitely difficult to balance that.
I think my approach to the question has been, if someone has life experience, take their advice, but then still do what your core tells you. That if, let's say, I'm going through a problem and I'm younger than you, or like, let's say your younger brother's facing a problem and you see it in him.
Yep.
Give him the advice. And then it's up to him. Either he can be like, oh yeah, that's true, and it immediately clicks in his head and he can course correct. But if you tell him the advice and it doesn't make sense to him, there's no point in him doing the thing that doesn't make sense to him. It's better for him to still follow his intuition. That's where I kind of stand.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and that's the whole thing with, like, blindly following someone's advice, because, you know, as much advice as I can give him, like, at the end of the day, it's his life, and he's got to go through those things on his own. So, yeah, no, I agree with that. That's a good point.
Yeah, man. My friend, I think this is a good example because, like, he's in a relationship right now, and he's really happy with it. Yeah. And you know, it's unfortunately long distance, but he's really satisfied with it. And before he was in that relationship, hopefully this doesn't mind me revealing all this personal information. Yeah, he but before he was in that relationship, he was more in the hookup scene. So he'd get with girls, gone with a lot of girls. Yep. And the thing is, like, you think that's fun, but then when you get that long-term relationship, you realize, like, how beautiful that really is. Yeah. And he's telling me about it now, that he hasn't even tried doing anything in Michigan. He's done all that stuff in the past. And, you know, I find that a lot of he's someone I look up to as well, and I know that's something I want as well. Yep. But at the same time, it's hard for me to logically convince myself to just, okay, since he gave me that advice, that's the thing I should be looking for, then only look for that thing. Yep. But at the same time, although my brain can logically reason through that, my core can't, because there's still that longing in my core that says that that's a life I've never experienced. So, and I think in that case...
Wait, which life are you talking about?
More just, like, even getting with girls, even if it's just hookup or just, like, low quality. Yep. Because, fair enough, maybe that's the end goal. But if I've never had that experience, I can't sit here and comment about how bad it is. Right. You know, like, it's still something that I've wanted to do. Yep. So it's like, I think in that case, if he told me that and it made perfect sense and I'm able to achieve it, fair enough, take the advice. But in this part, it's like, I feel like I can't sit from his perspective and say that. It just sounds like cope, because I've never done it myself and experienced it. So. Yep.
No, I'm kind of, I've done, you know, all sorts of stuff in that realm, and so I feel like I'm able to kind of put together my own view on it right now, because I've experienced so many different varieties of it that I can actually say, like, okay, this is what I want. Because, you know, you can't really say what you prefer if you haven't really experienced, like, different situations. But I don't know, I definitely wouldn't recommend, like, going out and getting with a bunch of girls. Obviously, like, you know, here and there it's okay, but, and, you know, it is good to be able to handle yourself in that party scene. You know, I think that's pretty important. But yeah, what you're talking about advice that he gave you, what like, specifically did he say?
It was more just about what my approach should be to talking to girls.
And what do you think?
What I should be looking for.
What have you come to in conclusion?
I think ultimately I'm looking for a long-term relationship. But if I feel like going out and just like experiencing that scene as well, like I'll do it.
And so how are you going about like bringing upon a long-term relationship? Like how are you trying to find that?
My approach to it right now is I feel like I'm a pretty social person, so if there's a girl that I find attractive, I'll talk to her. Luckily I don't have a problem with that confidence piece. And then I've made a lot more female girlfriends, so hopefully through them, if I happen to meet
you just meet more people through them. I'm kind of in the same situation. I've quite a few female friends as well, and so like I'll meet girls through them and that sort of thing. I feel like that's a good way to do it for the most part. But do you are you familiar with like cold approaching and that sort of thing?
I mean,
I did that a lot. Primarily what you'll do?
I did that a lot more the first month I was here.
Okay. I did that a lot too, bro. Yeah. I have the funniest story.
Tell me about it.
So, my roommate and I are actually going to lunch at Mojo, because I had
last year.
Yeah, I had the dining hall pass last year. I didn't cook everything like I do this year, but so we're there and we see this girl that he knew from back home, and so I talked to this girl and I get her number. And
did you just sit with her?
Nah, we just saw her passively, but
okay.
I got her number, and then I'm like, yo, we should go grab lunch sometime. And so we do it like 2 days later. We go back to Mojo. This is the funniest story, bro, because this is the worst date experience I've ever had.
Oh, no.
So, and it wasn't like tragic or anything. It was,
yeah.
I mean, for worst date experiences, people have definitely had way worse. But so when we get there at lunch, I'm with this girl. Mojo is packed. There's not a single seat. So we end up sitting with this group of like grad students who are working on a project.
No way.
We're sitting right next to them while they're doing some sort of project, and I'm trying to talk to this girl while this dude is like giving a presentation next to me. It's just the funniest thing. And so honestly,
is she cool though?
Yeah, she was fine. But we stopped talking after that because it just went so bad. I was not myself at all because I was stressed about, it's so busy. I can't actually talk to this girl too. And I made a lot of mistakes too during the date. Like when we first got there, I accidentally like let her walk ahead and open the door for herself. Like
I always like tell yourself, "Fuck, I
know it's not like a big deal, but I think it is. Like I really like opening doors for girls and that sort of thing. But like, I don't know. And if you find a girl who likes that stuff, if you do it for her, she'll really like that. Like I've had long-term relationships where girls have loved that when you open doors for them and that sort of thing. But yeah, dude. So we're on this date and it just is not going anywhere. Like I'm stressed out because the environment, and she's asking me like a ton of questions and I'm barely giving her anything in response. So it's just brutal, bro. Yeah. And she was also like big into sororities and that sort of thing. So not my type of girl anyways.
Nice date, yeah.
But yeah, it's still good to get experiences like that. Like it's fun to have bad date experiences. Like as much as it may suck in the beginning, like it's good to have that sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, this one girl I decided to hang out with, sometimes the vibe just does not click.
Yeah.
And immediately just did not click with her.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. Like that's how it goes sometimes. Like there's that's why you gotta have like so many different like girl. Not that you're going out with it one time, but like you gotta. I forgot who was talking about this. I think it was Tate actually. He was saying how do you know if you have the best apple? He used an apple analogy for this. He's like, okay, so say there's this guy who has 3 apples and he's trying to figure out which one is the best one. He goes through all 3 of them and he's like, okay, this one's the best one. Who's gonna know more about apples? A guy who has 3 apples and chooses the best one, or a guy who has 1,000 apples and chooses the best one? I would trust the guy who has 1,000 apples to tell me which one is the best one, right? And that's not saying go get with 1,000 girls, but like, it's good to
volume
get
mindset.
More experience and like not limit yourself, because I've struggled with that in the past, is thinking like, okay, this girl's the one. I think it's called like one-itis or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like the term for it. But like, you become obsessed with this one girl for no reason.
Yeah.
And that's like how
we're
brought up. I
don't like being in that position. It just feels weird.
Yeah, it does. And that's how we're brought up. Like, I don't know, at least my parents raised me that way, to be like, okay, treat girls very nice and, be like, only think about her and that sort of thing. And I mean, it's just not very good practical advice, I'm not going to lie. And that's
I think
how
it's
you
a balance again.
Yeah.
Like, at some degree, like, you don't want to become that person like, in one-itis.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you're dating someone, like, it's okay to
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, once you actually commit to someone, I totally believe in that. Like I'm not saying be an asshole when you're in a relationship or like don't show her attention, you know, because I mean that shit's just toxic and no need for it.
Yeah, but before when you're talking about like cold approaching stuff, like when you said you used to run that, like what did it look like for you? Like for me, a lot of it was, I mean, I never knew what the right time to do was. I just ended up falling back on like Mojo Dining Hall a lot. Like like first few weeks, I would just like sit with girls that look attractive. Yeah. Honestly, it goes better more times than you think.
Oh, for sure.
Just sitting with someone random. I know this feels
whack. You rarely
whack,
get like full on rejected. I don't think I ever got full on rejected before. The most I ever got was like, okay, I have a boyfriend. Whether or not that's true, you know, it is what it is. That
happened to me once.
Yeah, I mean, I got that frequently in high school because I would do it all the time. But like, it would probably be 50% where I'd get the number versus she'd be like, oh, you know, I have a boyfriend, sorry. Yeah. But yeah, you asked about like my experience with that. I started it. Honestly, it was probably freshman year of high school. I'm not gonna lie.
That's early, man.
Yeah, it was very early because I knew this stuff is important. That's why I feel like I'm pretty good at it now.
It takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot of time. So I would do that. I wouldn't know like, okay, this is called cold approaching. I'd be like, okay, this pretty girl, go talk to her.
Right.
And so yeah, I would just be like, okay, this shit is so hard to do. You just got to do it. And even now, it's still hard for me. Like that could be something that I do to challenge myself now.
Honestly, it's fun,
but I don't want to.
Well, I think the biggest problem I deal with in fall term was that I either go too extreme or nothing at all.
Yep, absolutely.
But I think I solved it now.
Yep.
I don't know how I did it.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like that's the conclusion we're coming to with a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about is just balance and like not being too extreme about stuff, you know. Yeah, I feel like that's the key, man.
Yeah, it is the key.
Especially with girls, because you cannot have like too much of you can't be extreme.
Yeah.
Because it'll come off as like, okay, you're overthinking shit. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I've kind of just stopped trying hard.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. My mindset like now it just kind of works, but like I don't overthink it too much. I don't try too hard, but then it's like kind of in the background. I'll let my subconscious mind kind of look for things, and if I see something, I'll go take it. But
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like on dating apps or anything like that?
No,
have you tried that? Yeah, that's also another rabbit hole.
I've never. Maybe one day.
Yep.
I think cold approach is more fun for sure than just like.
It's also more effective probably because I don't know. Yeah, I've tried it and had pretty good success actually.
On dating apps?
Yeah, I went on for a while and I was actually like very successful, because you know there are a few specific things you got to do, and if you ever do decide to do it, let me know because I'll hook you up with the ways to do it. But yeah, it's interesting. I've stopped it now mainly because I don't know the quality of woman that you're gonna find in there.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know qualities.
A lot of them are looking for hookups too. On
oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, it's fine here and there, but like at the end of the day, you're wasting your time. Like, why are you trying to just hook up with more girls for no reason? You know, because I've gotten to a certain point where I'm like, okay, I don't need to get with any more girls. I'm good. Like I have that experience.
Yeah.
Like now it's time to kind of look for more serious relationships. You know.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of where I'm at.
Mhm. Yeah, that's cool. I feel like junior year is when I first thought I was starting to do it properly, when I really wasn't.
You mean like cold approaches?
Yeah, that's when I started learning about what cold approach is.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I was not very attractive at the time, and I was pretty small and had glasses.
Dude, same. Yeah. But that's when you got to do it.
I mean, I got pretty I got pretty confident, but I think I was doing it again. I was doing it for the wrong reasons back then. I did it for more to be like that guy instead of actually looking for a girl that was attractive. I do it with anybody, so that was not good. And then like senior year, I kind of took a break from it because I went to such a small school that I just kind of blew through it.
Yeah.
But I came here and I'm like, okay.
Oh wait, you went through like all the girls.
A lot of them.
That's so funny because I struggle with that, bro. Because I'll see a girl like in the gym here or something. I'm like, yo, she's cute. I should go talk to her. But then I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to see her every day. Like if she says no.
Yeah. And that doesn't bother me too much though.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it wouldn't be the biggest deal. But like, I don't know, you don't want to get that reputation because you know she'll have friends and that sort of thing, and like, you know, it's not the biggest deal. Yeah. But like, say she tells her friend, oh, this dude tried to approach me, or like, you know, say you are talking to a girl and you approached her friend in the past, she'll be like, oh no, don't go. Like I've had that happen before where I've approached a girl's friend in the past and she's like, rough. Fuck. So bad.
Yeah. It's funny because since I got here, I started like trying to learn as much as I could being here.
Yep.
Doing it properly after I took a break for a year in senior year and didn't do much.
Yep.
So I remember like the first day I was here, the girl I talked to, she was pretty attractive. The first person I tried cold approaching here, and thing is, like, I got her phone number back then, and now I'm realizing I probably should have got her Snap, because you don't get much with the phone number, I feel like.
I always go for the phone number. It's more mature, and I feel like
yeah.
I would continue going for the phone number, because, I don't know, especially as you get older.
Okay.
Most guys don't have Snap as they get older, I feel like. I mean,
yeah, I don't like Snap.
That's what I tell girls if they ask for my Snap. I'll be like, grown men don't have Snap, and that works every time. That's like my favorite line to say when girls are like, yo, can I get your Snap?
So how do you do with number? I feel like it's harder in the talking stage.
In what way?
In talking stage. Like, do you just, as soon as you meet someone, do you just ask them out immediately? Like, let's grab lunch sometime before talking to them?
Okay, so say it is a cold approach. Like,
yeah. Let's say you just met someone in the dining hall, and then you got their number.
Yeah. I meet this person at the dining hall. Ideally, you want to have a little bit of a conversation with them and show some value. Like,
the first time, yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm better in person.
She could totally think you're weird if you're like, because, I mean, the mistake I made when I initially started doing it was I'd go into it too fast. You'd be like, oh, hey, you're kind of cute or something like that. Can I get your number? Like, you go into that and literally just say that. And that shit does not work, bro. Like, you may get the number, and you'd be like, oh, shit, like, she's into me.
I feel like they need to be comfortable before they do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Girls, and that's why you got to be careful about getting the number, is because you got to go about it a certain way. Like, you got to kind of establish rapport with them and show, like, okay. And that's why it's good to be like, okay, I'm about to go meet my friend over there or something. That's what I'll do, is if I see a girl in a dining hall, or, like, say I'm at Starbucks or something, and I see a girl, I'm like, yo, I'm about to meet my friend. Like, I just thought you were cute. I'll grab your number real quick. I usually go about it that way.
Is that like your typical go-to?
Yeah, I usually say that. Or I'll mix it up. I mean, I do some different things as well. But, yeah, that's usually the go-to, is, like, you know, show interest. Don't, like, compliment her too much. Don't be like, oh, hey, you're so gorgeous.
I usually don't compliment her on the first.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make it genuine, too. Can't be like, oh, hey, you have nice tits or something.
Yeah.
It's got to be like, oh, hey, like, I have the same water bottle or something, like, I don't know, just something weird.
It's cool when they got something on their shirt.
Yeah.
You can always make a conversation on something on a shirt.
Compliment something about what they're wearing or, like, their hair, that sort of thing. That works best, I find. Yeah. But, yeah, that's, like, my go-to line is, like, okay, I'm about to go meet my friend. I thought you were cute. Like, let me grab your number real quick. We'll hang out. And then, yeah, once you get the number, you kind of just got to show, you know, that you are a normal person, you know. And the trick is getting them on the date because, like, you know, think about it from a girl's perspective. Like, this weird dude approached you, got your number, now he's trying to take you on a date. Like, what the fuck?
They sort of freak out a little bit.
Yeah, like, this is kind of intense.
That's why, like, when you get their number, like, do you text them for a while before you do something? Or like, what do you do next?
I won't have, like, a strict formula with it, you know?
Typically. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess it depends on the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But say we had a really good conversation, I'll text her immediately after. Say it was, like, I don't know, not great. It was okay. Like, I'll text her later whenever I feel like it. But I've had situations where I've gone on dates, like, the day of with a girl after I cold approached her or she approached me or something like that, you know? I feel like there's no strict way to do it, you know?
Right. See, like, I used to think that was the way to do it. So if I meet someone, get their Snap number or whatever, then, like, within a couple of days, no talking, I'll just, like, text them and be like, yo, like, let's get something to eat, hang out. And I found less success that way. And then some of my advice to my friends was that they'll do longer talking stages. Like, they'll Snap them and text them for a while, at least like a week or two.
Oh, it's tough, bro.
And then do it. And then they see more success that way. And I feel like when I make a girl comfortable, then I see more success too. But
yeah, there's an argument to both.
It's hard.
Like, yes, you do want a girl to be comfortable with you, but you don't want to give her too much time to, like, think about, oh, shit, my mother's calling me. No, we're good. So, yeah, you don't want to give a girl too much time to be like, okay, this dude's kind of whack anyways. You want to get her ideally within the first few days, especially with cold approach. Like, say she's a mutual friend. I usually go about it like I play the long game if it's a mutual friend. But if I cold approach the girl, I'll be like, okay, I want to go out with her within 3 days. Because, you know, you're this random guy that she met, right? She's not going to even remember you. She's going to be like, why the hell am I texting this guy, right? So I'll usually try and plan a date pretty soon after I get the number.
That's true.
And so that's what I found the most success in.
Yeah, that's true. I think the benefit of being a freshman on the Hill is that I see them frequently.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like if I cold approach someone and get their Snap, I could see them in person 2 or 3 times and talk to them again before I make a move.
Yep.
Which is actually pretty good because I hate the texting stuff. And I'd much rather just like talk to them.
Yeah, it's awful. I'd much rather be talking in person because I feel like I can show who I am a lot more in person. Yeah, it's pretty tough. But honestly, if I was a freshman again, I would do things a lot differently. I would put myself out there a lot more.
Like what?
But you're already doing that a lot, so that's good.
Well, I guess I still want to take your advice. So tell me like in more detail, like how your freshman year would look like if you redid it right now.
If I were to do it again, so I didn't go out at all last year.
Yeah, I went out once.
Literally none. So actually, that's not true. I went out welcome week a couple times, hated it, didn't do it again the whole year.
You didn't drink, right?
No, never. I've never had alcohol. So,
same here.
But yeah, this year I have these two girls that live in my building that I've become pretty close friends with, mainly through boxing. They've pushed me to go out with them a lot more, and so I have, and I would confidently say like that's a good thing to do. Like as long as you're not being a total degenerate and just doing, I don't know, you're drinking a lot and stuff like that, I wouldn't do that sort of thing. But it's definitely good to go out. I 100% think that's one of the things I regret doing.
I'm planning more this term.
Yeah, and yeah, just find a good group of people to go out with and like just have fun with it. That's one thing that I would definitely do. And then I feel like you're doing pretty good with like the lifting and that sort of thing. I was a little bit off, but we've talked about it a good bit, and I feel like you're pretty on par for what I'd do. And then yeah, I'm sure you probably have school figured out more than I did back then. So yeah, yeah, that's probably the best advice I got for you. Just go out more.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do, and
yep.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
And it's funny because I would have not thought that's the advice I would have been giving last year. Like, if me last year could see me now giving that advice, you'd be like, yo, what the hell are you talking about, bro?
What do you think he would say?
I have no idea, bro. He'd be like, what's the switch up about, and like why are you changing your views so much all of a sudden?
I change my views every 3 months.
Yeah, seriously, like total switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'll keep the same like core views, but like I'll expand on them a lot because I think about it all the time. Like I'm constantly trying to learn and evolve, especially with my, I don't know, some stuff I don't know more about, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely change my mind about things often, but it's usually a growth step.
It's good though. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually a good step, isn't like not like left right, but more like steps up, in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the things I do now, if maybe my old self looked at it might look down upon it in the same way.
Yep.
Like my routine-oriented senior year self, who thought I'm doing the same 5:30 a.m. routine for the rest of my life, would probably look at my routine now and be like, you're whack.
Right?
But the thing is, like, I feel like I'm in a place now where, again, I don't let it control me as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I can still access that fulfillment in other ways. And I'm still, it's not like I'm totally messed everything up in the routine. There's still core things that stay, like the health stuff and everything. But I don't know. I feel like you will change as you grow.
Yeah,
it's
for
natural.
sure. I mean, that's exactly how I was last year as well. Like, I wasn't going out. I was waking up at the same time every day. And a lot of my friends were like, yo, why are you so extreme about this? And I was like, yeah, fuck them, whatever. Like, it is what it is. I'm doing me. I'm on my purpose. And, like, when you look back, it's so cringe, bro. Like, just live your life, man. Just
I agree.
Be balanced. That's the most important thing.
You got to experience everything.
Yeah, because if you get into your career one day and you're just this robot who performs all his tasks and, like, nobody really even knows, like, what's your legacy? You know, like, nobody even cares. Like, why are you here? Like, you might as well just literally be AI at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That I'm big on balance now and, like, living a simple life.
Or even, like, an extreme balance where it's, like, I'll go extreme and then I'll go a different extreme, so it kind of balances out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like, kind of periodically shifting different extremes. Yeah. I mean, I like to think I'm pretty balanced in terms of my different extremes that I've been at, because I've been last semester I was very, like, you know, I was way too relaxed about it. I was not regimented. I would go to bed at 2-3 in the morning after I went out 3 days in a row, like on the weekend with my friends.
October.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah, dude. I went to Halloween a bunch, and like after that I was going out way too much, and I would get home at like 3, and then my roommate would get up at 8.
It starts to add up.
I'd get 5 hours of sleep every night, and I just felt like absolute garbage. And so, like, going from that till now, it's just like, and this is 2-3 months. Yeah, this was 2 months ago.
And here we are.
Yeah, and
no sugar.
Yeah, now we're on no sugar.
Clean diet.
And going to bed at 11. What the hell is this, bro?
I love the no sugar stuff, man.
I know, actually.
You should read.
I feel great, honestly.
Read Ultra Processed People by Chris Van Tulliker, or The Summary, whatever you do.
Okay.
But, dude, that book is very good. opens your eyes.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep. Nah, no sugar is definitely the move though. Like, for anyone who hasn't tried it, like, bro, it will change your life.
It will change your life.
Yep.
That shit's not good for you. Yeah, man. I think we have exciting things ahead of us on this term.
Absolutely, bro.
And
yep.
I'm excited. We're gonna definitely lift a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of fun.
Looking forward to it. It'll be good.
You had a list of things you want to get through. Have you gone through everything?
Yeah, let me look real quick. I feel like for the most part, we naturally, literally just got to like everything. I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
we
like there's
did.
a lot of conversations we haven't finished.
Yeah.
That we deviated and we forgot we deviated.
No, for sure.
Like we were talking about politics and then I talked about a song.
And then we get into music, and then we get into health, and then like fitness and girls, like that. Yeah, no, for sure. But that's honestly, I like that. Like just going into different topics.
Fun.
It's like more of a
natural.
conversation, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely better.
That's what I love about it.
But the funny thing is, we literally got to everything that I had on my list. That's pretty funny.
That's hilarious, bro.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that was wonderful.
It was. We hit like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think a little bit.
I'm gonna have you sign the poster behind you. This
100%.
poster, I ask all my guests to sign, and it's fun. So.
Yep, sounds good. Oh man. Right. Yep. Let's see if we.
So, you are number 79.
Okay. Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I'm gonna just write my name because my signature's not good enough.
So my boy Angelo, he's gonna kill me if I forget to do the wallet challenge. So I put it up on the board. We're gonna do the wallet challenge.
Is it 79?
79.
Wonderful. Love it.
All right, you ready for the challenge?
Yeah.
Have a seat, sir.
God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this wallet has never been opened before. It is an anti-theft wallet, and you can get the cash out easily, but the cards, you can't get them out, no matter how hard you try. And we're going to see if Charlie Copeland has the ability to unlock this anti-theft wallet. So I'm going to put it in front of you. I'm going to give you a countdown. Right when it hits 2 hour 13 on my clock right there, I'm going to give it to you. So right when it's like 5 seconds before, I'll put it in front of you, and then I'll give you a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then we'll see how long it takes you.
Dude, I'm scared. I'm not going to be able to get it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so you want me to get the cards, right?
Yes, get the cards out.
All right, Jesus Christ.
5 seconds in.
What the fuck, dude? Yeah, that's actually legit. What the hell? Oh, wait. Hold up.
Oh, my God. You got it in 17 seconds.
Not bad.
Actually, I think... See, it's usually... There's a different way of doing it, but I think that's like a loophole way of doing it.
Yeah.
And I got to make sure I can somehow fix that so I can prevent people.
Yeah, I don't know how I even found that. I was like, okay, I pushed it a little bit.
Let me see the wall real quick.
Yeah, I pushed it a little bit, and then like the bottom like rotated a little bit, and so I was like, damn, let me try that.
So let me see if I can somehow prevent people from doing that, because that's too easy.
Have you had other people like do that before?
I think you have the record.
Let's go. Let's go. That's the Michigan advantage right there.
Okay, he has all-time record, 17 seconds.
Let's go.
The longest
What was the second closest?
Like 34.
Let's go.
And the highest is like 1:30. Mm-hmm. It's impressive, man.
We just half the record, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I think we're good. Anything else you want to touch on?
Not really, man. That was awesome.
Ready to call it night. Is Mojo still open? What time is it?
It is 8:08.
8:08. Perfect. I got plenty of time to eat.
Yeah.
All right.
What time is it open till?
9.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And we have the new
Appreciate
lights.
it. Yep.
Elite production.
Yeah, lights went hard. It's good.
Good night.
All right. Awesome.
If you enjoyed that episode, then I guarantee that you'll enjoy this episode right here. Make sure you click here to watch that episode, and the best way to support us is to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. It is the best way to support us, and it'll help us to keep growing, get better guests, better production, and make this the best podcast in the world.